Hi, everybody! Welcome back to another fun Sunday with us here at the Hoda Twitch channel. I am your DM for tonight, AJ, and we are now playing Ages Past. We actually have a name for it now, for the Ages Past campaign. But of course, you kind of already know a little bit of this. Let's go ahead and introduce the players. Kayla, would you mind starting us off, please?
Okay, I'm Kayla. I play Valindra, the half-elf tiefling. She is a warlock, and she has the cutest little fennec fox accompanying her on all of her journeys, and his name is Winnie.
Yeah. And so what about you, Scott? Who do you play?
Well, hello, my name is Scott, and I will be, and for the foreseeable future, be playing Varkash Stormcaller, the Dragonborn Forge Cleric. I'm not going to give away the rest of the upper half, because I don't know if I'm allowed to yet.
Yes, yeah, we already did.
Oh, okay, then upper half of me's Goliath too. Yeah. So there you go.
Yes, alright, and about you, Cody?
And I'm playing Rook Belfry, the half-tiefling, half-Kenku, Inquisitive Rogue.
Yes, alright. So, with all you three players, I suppose we are going to be going with a recap from what happened last night. Yeah, I don't think we have any... Oh, just some general announcements, of course, guys. There are other shows that will be streamed on this channel as well. You can check it out on the actual Twitch to see the scheduling that we have. We've got games on Tuesdays. We have a game on Sunday. We sometimes have Red Dragon on Wednesdays. We have to reschedule those in there. And we'll be eventually having a game on Monday, too. Exciting stuff. All of this coming up. But yeah, be sure to keep an eye out for all the new and exciting things coming your way. But in the meantime, let us go back and recap with what we have seen last week with our party. So, you all successfully returned back to Riverrun with the necromantic kind of tome in hand, returning it safely to the hands of Lulu, who was able to coax Smokey to let her return the book, and allowing her to gain the credit as well as the contract with a bit of smart business planning, in a sense. But you do see that she is able to not only get what she wants, but she also got a very lucrative deal for the party, being able to get you an in into the biggest and most influential houses in Alniel, which belongs to the Brass Dragons. So they wanted you to deliver this particular item, which is a little chaotic and difficult to send via conjuration magic, so it has to be sent on foot. Lulu, very eager to climb the ladder, proposed to join you on the journey as you made your way from Riverrun to Alniel. Now, it didn't take you too long in the rain before you had a few little mishaps here and there with some steel umbrellas and lightning, but that was nothing compared to the sudden undead surge.
Who did that? I don't remember.
That paled, though, compared to the undead scourge that swarmed your cart, ready to either fight you at first before you realized they were being manipulated by some other individual who was more keen on stealing the book from you than anything else. Luckily, with some lucky rolls and some good strength checks with the game of Tug of War, the party was able to keep the book off of his hands, and just before he was forced to retreat, you had left a nice little metal ring around his neck, which gave him a bit of a shock when the lightning struck him on his way out.
Bad vampire, bad.
So he was quite thoroughly and completely humiliated by your party.
Too fucking right he was.
In his attempt to steal this book.
Couldn't fucking win a tug of war in a girl. I'm like, he's a supernatural monster. He should have been able to flick her away and win. Anyway, continue.
But yes, you were able to continue down the road with Lulu, very impressed, never seeing you in action before, but now doubly so intrigued at how skilled her new party is. But as you all ventured further down the road, the rain still pouring down with a very consistent pitter-patter on the cart and the road and the water. It's a very damp and miserable kind of atmosphere, and you do feel that level of just wet. There's no way to feel comfortable or dry. You're just completely soaked. For the most of you, you also realize it's better probably not to try and stick another steel umbrella up in the sky, so you're resisting that urge to try to stay dry with that technique.
Oh, I'm resisting it.
You are continuing on the road to Alniel. Now, you do know from the trip so far that just from the general maps and layouts, and the fact that you have all, well, not all, sorry, Valindra and Varkesh, you have both been to Alniel before, so you are familiar with the amount of time it takes to trek between these two points on the road. To get to from Riverrun to Alniel, you know it will take you about 2 to 3 days. Now, it depends on how hard you want to push, considering you knew some of the roads and the ins and outs of the way to go between the two cities. But you also know that if you really push hard, you might risk hurting the horse, but it might also be either faster and maybe out of harm's way from this undead force. So, it is down to you on how much you want to push your trip right now. But Lulu is way more willing to go along with whatever you wish to do, having not only completely defeated the swarm of undead, but also bashing away a vampire. She's just... You do you at this point. She is.
I mean,
not
I'm
gonna
pretty fucking good. I did so much that fight. It's really good.
Yeah. And you can see that Lulu is not too bothered by the rain, for she had come prepared with a very thick, heavy, waterproof cloak that she has kept on her person this entire time. But yes, you are still traveling on the road. How would you like
I'm
to
wet!
set your pace?
I miss my umbrella!
Well, you can't make a new one because I don't want to get blown up by lightning again. Speaking of getting blown up, Winnie got exploded, so I'm gonna stitch it back together.
Oh, yes.
Oops!
Yeah, so while on the cart ride, you would have passively begun the ritual to slowly stitch Winnie back into existence, peeling the shadow from your form and putting it into thread as you once more reattach limb and part once more to make a complete fennec fox that is unaware of its death.
I can't remember. Was I responsible for it falling to pieces last time?
Yes,
Well,
actually.
I believe it was the fire wall, I think.
I
that
thought
did
it was the lightning because the
It was the
lightning came
lightning.
first.
Oh, but I thought on the trip though you restitched him again at that point.
That's right. This is the second time I've had to restitch him this trip.
Yeah. He
Beat him up twice in one episode.
he
Thanks,
de-stitched.
Scott.
he de-stitched when the firewall came out, but yes, he's once more returned back to his complete form.
I am an unhealthy external factor for that poor fox.
But,
Winnie is going to end up hating you.
But Winnie doesn't seem to be aware of any of these moments of death. Whenever you immediately stitch him back, he just pops up and perks as if nothing's happened. There doesn't seem to be any kind of negative side effects for these constant moments of dying and rebirth. He has no real memory of that.
Sounds like me on a Saturday
So
morning.
he doesn't seem to be bothered, and he doesn't seem to hold any resentment to party members or anything, because he has really no clue of who and or what might have accidentally popped him occasionally.
Okay. I'm still going to give him lots of love.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, Winnie's just snuzzling in there. He's just kind of like doing the whole... He's also trying to stay dry. You can see he's trying to get in as close as he can, just like that. Tuck up under the arm, in the cloak.
Yeah.
It's just like...
I'll put him in my cloak.
Okay, yeah. He stays a little
I'm going to
dry.
put my shield above my head and use that as a makeshift umbrella.
Well, it keeps your head from getting the constant irritating, like, droplets spattering on your brow, but... you're
Does the
still quite
water
wet.
pour on Rook's head?
Well, your shield is not a, it's not necessarily a gutter or a bowl, so it doesn't really have any water falling direction unless you actually
I
are
make
attempting to
the
try
water
this to happen.
fall?
Okay, yeah, I mean, if you want to try, just go
I am
ahead
going
and
to
make
do
just make a random 1d20. Let's just see how successful you are. In terms of percentages, how much water you can get onto him. Full 20, we'll
Okay.
multiply it by 5. As opposed to just, well, we can do a percentile disc. Either one. Percentile or d20. You choose.
What do you want, a percentile?
Sure, do percentile. We'll see how much of the water you're actually successfully able to... Alright, half of it. About half of the water you have, you just kind of like tilt it just to the point where it spatters about a good maybe 5 or 6 of these little streamlines, these veins of water that just kind of spatter on his hood.
Naughty, naughty clouds.
Rook glances over him and immediately stuffs himself closer to Varkesh.
Get under the umbrella.
Practically sitting in his lap now, yes.
Okay, alright. So,
Oh, this is happening.
So it's quite a nice little comedic sight. As you can see, this large dragonborn, 8 foot tall, very wide, with this very small 5 foot something kind of Kenku demon bird snuzzling in there, and you just kind of do your little... and you do that
Pretty
little...
much.
As you kind of get yourself dry by...
That's on you, bird! I'm a lightning rod!
Every bird with their bird bath knows after you get wet, your feathers just go... So he gets that little puff moment where he just nestles in.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
Frankly, I'm adorable right now.
Yeah. You can look past the 4 red eyes and the demon horns and just see a cute...
If he's looking away from me, that's fine.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's...
I can't stand spider eyes.
But yes, you
I only
are...
have 4, I don't have 6.
Almost. You've almost got the number.
You are doing your very best to try and make this journey as tolerable as possible. But yes, what pace would you like to set this cart at?
Anything faster than not moving at all.
Well, you do know if you just took it steady, an average day of travel, just no kind of like pressure on the horse, it would take you around 3 days. If you really push the animal, it would take you 2 days, but you don't know if you want to risk that. It's up to you. So, how do you want to set the pace?
I'm just going to try and sleep. I'm not making a decision. I did too much last time. I was too... There is no end to my talents!
Oh my god, there it is.
Sit and snuggle up to Budgery Kit Boy here and actually get warm and go to sleep. Yep, that's what I'm going to do.
I think we should try to push as much as possible just because I don't want that guy to come back.
I
But
agree. The more time we spend on the road and not in the safety of a city, the more chance there is that Vampire and his friends may show up again. And it's really no good to us if the horse is unwounded if the Vampire shows up and kills everybody, including the horse.
very true, very true. So, can we keep pushing forward? But I want to keep an eye on the horse and see if he's getting too tired. If he's getting too tired, then we'll stop. But,
Yeah, sure. But as you do, Lulu just goes, "Absolutely, darling. We can make double speed." Yeah. And she kind of clicks the horse into gear as he begins to surge a little bit faster along the road. Go ahead and make an animal handling check for me to determine how well you know beasts.
oh no!
There's so few chances to use animal handling. It's like anytime there's an animal chance, it's like, gotta use it. Oh, right then. So,
God damn it!
this horse is the best horse you've ever seen. My god, this creature is so capable and powerful. Those haunches, they are just they are tugging hard on that ass. This thing is going. That thing is it is just energy incarnate. It's not slowing down. It doesn't look like it's gonna have any problem. That thing could probably go through the night.
He's got fucking 2
God.
legs.
Look at the horsepower. He's so majestic.
Yeah.
Lulu got us this horse for free.
Yeah, but I don't think you understand. This is the greatest horse of all time. I'm pretty sure he is a god taking the form of a horse.
It has 2 legs!
It has 4, Barkesh. I think.
This is so amazing. It has 2 fucking legs left!
It has 4 legs, yes.
I don't think we're in that kind of a pony race, Markesh. I think we're okay.
Give it time.
But yeah, so the horse is going at a great speed, and you do know that Lulu is not necessarily animal savvy either, so
Really?
she's going to trust you on this. So you kind of just mentioning and saying how powerful this creature is. She's just like, haha, darling, I knew it. I know how to pick the best. She kind of keeps flicking.
I'm actually quite impressed, Lulu. You really outdid yourself. The horse dies.
This horse is fucked.
This horse is 8 cats duct taped together.
The horse is fine. On our way to Alniel as she keeps going forward into the rain. Now, you travel for a good, let's say 6 or 7 hours of this dim light. It's basically that point of where the cloud cover is not really giving you much to see by, but it is just that kind of dismal moment where you can at least still safely traverse the road. Now, at that time, the sun does begin to set, and because it is clouded, the darkness kind of hits a little earlier and a little bit more heavily. So when you can see that the road is becoming more difficult to spot, and you can feel that it's a bit more on the difficult time to keep on the road, you can keep pushing, or you can stop for the night.
I mean, I think the horse is good to go.
Barkesh sleepy.
This smacks of an potential ambush. I know Varkesh can't see in the dark. We should rest.
Barkesh has also got fuck all spell slots left, so...
Okay, I guess we will.
You can long rest in the cart. If you are not doing anything, you can...
Oh, then I'm... My
Just
fucking
as-
big blue ass is going straight to sleep.
Just as much as you can long rest on a Greyhound or on an airplane, you can rest in a cart.
I will not
Get a
sleep on
short
top of a
rest.
tiny
Oh, yeah.
skinny dog.
You can
I
make a
will-
cart rest, yes. But yes, at the moment it's been 6 to 7 hours, so it's not quite long rested enough. But yeah, I mean, if you stepped and kept doing it for another hour or so, you'd be fine.
I'm gonna keep doing it.
But yeah, it's as long as it's the question of do you want to keep pushing in the rain and in the dark?
If you guys need to rest, I can keep watch and push forward a little bit longer.
You know what you like, love.
He has been asleep for the past 6 hours.
And Rook, are you also sleeping or resting at this time?
Now I'm quite awake at the moment.
Oh, okay, all right. Because just so we all inform the viewers here, these two have not successfully long rested since they're in, so they've only just barely gotten rid of their exhaustion. If you don't take your long rest, you will get that again.
I'll be taking a long rest. I'm just like too miserable to sleep during the car ride.
Okay, all right.
At this
Okay.
point.
Well, I mean, you're
Really.
sitting inside the lap of a very large, kind of slightly sheltered dragonborn, so I mean, it's as comfy as it can get.
You're welcome. You can leave the money on the side counter before you leave in the morning.
So yes, so Valindra, if you keep
Oh, I thought I was
an eye
going
out,
to stay and make you some pancakes.
You'd be so lucky.
if you're keeping an eye out for us, Valindra, please make a perception check with disadvantage.
Okay. I don't want to push on too much longer. I just want to get like as far as I can before absolutely needing to stop. Hey, look at that! Two number ones in a row!
Okay.
We're all gonna die.
Valindra thinks she's pretty darn good when it comes to the idea of keeping on the road. And as you push the cart quite thoroughly through, you start traveling. You know, you're set. You're like, yeah, I'm on the road. We're good. Nothing, just no problem. Yeah.
Fucking dragon.
How long were you planning on doing this before you even thought of maybe perhaps parking the cart for a rest? An hour? or
Just
so?
like a couple hours.
A couple hours? Yeah, that's fine. All right, so yeah, you, with your own kind of guide, you actually put a hand on Lulu's shoulder, just kind of giving this reassurance, captain stance on the side, just going, I know the way. As you flick on your almost kind of this dark vision, this extended devil's sight, as your eyes fade to black before two blue orbs appear inside, as you start to peer out, looking for any kind of form of life, and this kind of almost daredevil's sight that just sound echoes out, and you can see just the silhouettes. Sadly, though, as you're keeping an eye out for the silhouettes, you don't realize the difference between mud road and side of the dirt. So, as you travel, your path begins to veer. Quite far off the road.
Where to
Very
go,
far.
Valindra?
Varkesh, you finish your long rest and you wake up to them. It is pitch black for you. You have no dark vision as a Dragonborn Goliath, so you have nothing but just black around you.
I
The
can't
horse is
see.
still going.
Oh, I hope these aren't pecks I'm touching. I can't see. Oh, I will cast light because I'm that good,
Okay.
and I will cast light.
All right, so you light your mace or your shield, or what would you like to light?
I'll do it on my shield.
All right, so you light your shield as suddenly this kind of beacon lantern of vroom shoots out as the entire area gets bubbled in light. And as you do that, Valindra, you start to realize that you can see there's no road signs anymore. The ground is not made as a track for like travel. It is rough dirt. You look around, you feel really lost. You are the one who notices this. Sadly, Lulu has never been before from Riverrun to Alneo, so she has no idea what she's looking for. She's just trusting you, so she thinks everything's fine right now. She's quite confident in your navigation.
Varkesh, since you're awake
Yeah?
and I need to sleep. You know the way to Alniel, right?
I think you're asking me for help.
I'm not asking you for help. I'm just asking you to take over because I'm really tired and I need to sleep. And we're taking a little bit of a shortcut, and I just want to make sure that you know the way to Alniel from this point.
Oh no, you actually said it. But this is just a shortcut. Shit.
Just a shortcut.
Question for DM
Mm-hmm.
before something bad fucking happens. I was really young when I was in the place that we're going to, right?
No. This place you came to later when you were traveling after your mountain excursion.
Oh, okay. Then would I actually recognize the landscape or probably have a good general idea of where the actual city is?
Make a survival check with disadvantage.
No, don't make me do these things. Survival check with disadvantage.
I got this.
Not that bad.
Not
Better
bad.
than fucking Kayla twice.
You do know the general direction, and you are familiar with the fact that in order to get through the first day, by now you should have crossed a river. You should have had a bridge that you would have crossed about, an hour or so ago. Just the way that Valindra kind of recounts a little bit and talks to you about what's been going on, it sounds like they have not crossed the river, and that sounds very wrong to you.
I just look down to Valindra as she's falling asleep, and I want to wake her up. Shit! No river! Fuck! And so I try and park my butt on the seat, and I try and take over the horses, and I will just slowly... I won't run them back, I'll walk them back.
Animal handling check, please.
Oh no, don't make me do things! Oh, the animals and me do not get on. It's fine. Wait, where's the animal handling? There it is.
The very first.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
That's a 23!
So that's a 19 roll. Nice.
That's more than one!
Not only are you able to pull the horse back slowly and get to that canter and then a walk and then it eventually stops, you also notice with your animal handling that this creature is tired. Oh my gosh, this creature is on its last legs right now. It is very much, it's got foam in the mouth, it's just breathing heavily. You can see the hot breath coming out of its nostrils. Which, fun little fact, they only breathe through their nostrils. Who knew? But yeah.
Well, everyone who knew anything about horses knew.
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't. I did not know this. This is news to me.
So, in lieu of knowing that instead of pushing the horse on until it pops its clogs, I'm going to unbit the horse, get a bit of rope, tie him to the back of the cart, and I'm going to self-bridle and bit myself, and I'm going to pull the cart myself.
Okay.
Because that's just the kind of awesome fucking guy I am.
Alright, well, okay, so you strap the shield to your back, letting the light just constantly kind of emit out from you, just this little kind of white aura. And you go ahead and you latch on... I mean, do you actually want to put the bridle in your mouth?
I'm going full hog, or full horse.
Okay,
whichever.
I mean, it's very small compared to, like, your mouth. It's like this kind of weird, awkward, tiny little metal bar, but you do put it in, and it's just kind of, it tastes nasty, but you put it on, and you hoist it. Lulu is looking at you going, "Darling, this is quite peculiar. Are you sure you can handle this?"
If horses can do it, so can I. And I keep...
Very well.
And I
You
keep
see, you're
pulling.
just kind of looking, just watching the spectacle. Go ahead and make a strength check for me.
This, hopefully, I will do well.
This is to determine how long you can pull this cart. You have strength because of your Goliath heritage and your other attributes, but this is more or less kind of an endurance.
So, just ass strength or like athletic, and just which would you prefer?
Go ahead and do athletics then, yeah, because this is going to be like you doing like pacing and gym work in a sense, like knowing when to kind of haul and when to rest.
25.
Okay, you can get a very good pace of this in there as you start to do this, but thankfully for you, you took that long rest at the very beginning of this cart ride, allowing you to feel more refreshed. So doing this is not actually as draining as it would be to all those who were traveling a full day and then did this in the night. You pull the cart back, and with your own sense of navigation, you retrace the steps that your cart went, following a bit more of like a U-turn, and rerouting it back to eventually the road, which you do find. And you do notice that as you travel back on the road for maybe another good 30 minutes to an hour, you do see the bridge. And the bridge up ahead, you can notice, is a very well-built stone arch. It is very long and rather wide, enough for at least 3 cart worths to go abreast. So it's got enough for many people to pass by, but you do notice that as you get closer to it, there is a slight, what looks to be almost kind of like a little house that's nestled off to the side. It does have a light in there, and you can see that this is probably where those who are in charge of maintaining the bridge, operating and using it, they all seem to be probably situated in this little establishment.
Varkesh will mosey on over in that direction and see if he can find lodgings for the poor horse and everyone else for tonight.
Okay. As you get closer...
And as he pulls the cart there, he's going to think in his head how Valindra was so wrong, how she got ourselves lost. But I'm going to be the bigger reptile, and I'm never going to say a word about it.
Thanks to Varkesh's efforts, we will not die of starvation in the woods. So I think you have every right to be petty as fuck about it.
I'm just that there is no end to my talents, and I'm doing this like praising the Almighty as I'm pulling this cart.
All right.
Valindra has led us into danger.
As the cart is moving forward, and you go,
her face is like, ugh.
And you go closer to this little kind of off to the side house, you do notice that as you get about maybe a good 30 feet away from it, the door opens up, and a man steps out immediately looking at your direction as if he anticipated your exact presence and approach.
Nay! Nay!
But you do see that as the person comes out, he holds out a lantern and is looking around for you. You can see that it is an elderly man, probably maybe in his 70s or so. He looks to have a few missing teeth and a very kind of wiry gray beard. And you can see that his head is kind of greased up with this slightly balding and just feathered over kind of comb over going on. But he does kind of look around and he just kind of goes, "Oh, that's what I'm saying. Oh, come in. It's all right.
What?
You speak my language! What a day for the con and the heathen!
Make a performance check for me.
Did again? Around the Donny-Can half? You're right, Chuck. You're right, Chuck. I'll just take it round the side. Wow! Someone who speaks my language!
Just make a performance check for me.
Don't try and go Glaswegian on me.
It's not Glaswegian, but I mean, I think I know what you're going for, but go ahead and make a performance check.
This reminds me of the time that I witnessed a couple of people just speaking jive to each other, and I understood absolutely none of it.
Right.
I love it.
I'm on a fucking...
You see that as you begin this dialogue, he does kind of look and go, "Oh, should be not afraid. I'm going to get him in back right here. You don't mind. Good one, and he just seems to kind of beckon you forward. It's very odd. He does seem to break these moments of talk to you, but there's no real word or language that you actually understand. He's talking something.
It's all about the gestures.
But yeah, he's not speaking common. So for the languages that you know, this is kind of gibberish to you. So it's like he's speaking something, but it's just like whatever he's talking. But
it's the universal understanding. Crazy people know what crazy people say.
But you do see that he does kind of understand that you're kind of doing a greeting in return. He's greeting you back. It's that there's mutual, as you could say, gesture languages that you can share for communication. As you bring the cart around to the side, you kind of give jostle to Rook and Valindra if they were resting, or if you guys were alert, you would have seen this happen. Lulu is just kind of, she was doing a nod off, but as you started to do this, she was just looking, going, oh, at the bridge, are we? Oh, okay. And then you see her just kind of haul off and immediately go towards the little hut as she kind of goes in and just pushes past the man, not really paying him much mind at all. It's the help. So.
Hey, Valindra, are you awake?
Yeah, I'm awake.
You got us to the bridge safely. Well done.
I knew that shortcut would pay off. It was risky, but I knew it would pay off.
It led us straight to a cup of tea. I mean, you are amazing. There is no end to your talents, young lady.
I know. You're welcome, everybody, for getting us this far so quickly with no deviation.
Ignores her and walks inside.
All right. So, as you all basically head into this tiny little shack of a building, it's about maybe a good 10 feet in length and about maybe 6 in width, so it's kind of like the very long and narrow. But you can see that inside there's a small bed pushed off to the side, a tiny little iron stove, and a small single table. You can see that there's a long bench for people to sit and wait on if they wish to, but you notice that it is mostly for his comforts rather than for entertaining anyone. But as you all kind of settle in and sit down, you kind of get the horse strapped down, tied, ready for the night, and you can see that as he joins in, he just puts the lamp drops aside and kind of goes to his own chair and sits down and goes, "All right, you're in, so hop in. How about you? Go on, there's somebody."
He's basically saying, come inside.
Do you speak that language?
Yes, kind of, a little bit. Not really, but I do understand it somewhat. Maybe not fully.
Do I recognize?
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead.
If he wants to come in and close the door and put the kettle on.
If you want to try and recognize the language, go ahead and make an intelligence check for me.
I'm going to give it a shot just so I can keep up with this.
Well,
Okay.
19.
All right.
Shit!
So-
The good luck ran out.
Yeah, sadly, Varkesh, again, this is just, it's gibberish. I mean, there's nothing to it.
I'm still going to go with it.
Okay. But yes, so, Valindra, you notice that as you begin to talk with this man for a moment, you kind of try and see if you can pull anything from the back of your head and just go, "Oh, what the hell is this?" You're just kind of like thinking and thinking and thinking for the moment. The closest thing you can try and pull together with, it seems almost kind of like a weird mesh of broken, what sounds like to you almost abyssal,
French.
with a abyssal with a little bit of, you assume it's deep speech, abyssal and deep speech. It sounds almost like his mind is somehow fractured, and anytime he tries to say something, it kind of gets garbled by this.
that's a concerning mix of languages.
But yeah, for Rook, you
I
don't
like
know.
it.
Rook,
I know.
he just sounds like he sounds crazy. It almost sounds like he's just mentally cracked over the old age. He's just so many years gone. He's just beep.
Varkesh, do you speak abyssal or deep speech?
No, I only know how to speak this language, the language of dragons and giants. Sometimes squirrel, but I have to have a lot of ouzo.
Well, if you ever don't understand what he's saying, ask him to write it down so I can translate. But for the
You,
meantime,
old man!
How are you in?
Right, cup of tea first, then goobly noodle speak afterwards.
Or you should totally continue to keep these limited. I said all of it is in. That's crap to do it.
I don't think he's really interested in writing anything down.
what did you ask him to write something down?
Not yet, I just said we're going to write things with maybe.
No, you said goobly speech afterwards.
Yes, after we talk, and I was leading up to it. Don't judge me.
I'm
You
gonna look
got
at
us
the old
lost.
man.
I mean, oops. I mean, you got us here safely.
I'm gonna look at the... I did not get us lost.
Who said that? I said you got us here safely.
I'm gonna look at the old man, and I'm gonna... Can you write down what you're saying?
Whoa.
Rook, can I borrow some paper and pen?
Certainly. I pull out
Some
the paper, my ink and inkwell, my ink pen and inkwell, and set it in front of me.
Okay. As you set it down for him, he does begin to pick up the pen and he writes.
Please tell me he plucks one of Rook's feathers as a quill.
Oh no, he just picks up the quill that was provided for him.
Shit.
But as he begins to write, you notice you can see some of the words coming in, but you notice that they kind of jitter and scratch, and they kind of make a broken link, and they don't follow the best, what you would call, it's at best it's chicken scratch, so it's kind of hard. But those of you who want to try and discern what he is writing, you can make an intelligence check. Valindra, you can make this with advantage because you know what to kind of distinguish and differentiate between the scribbles.
I'm not even going to try at this point. I read them off as a phrase.
If only you had the advantage. Oh, well, 18. But Rook, do you want to try?
No, I've written this man off as crazy,
Okay,
old.
that's fine. So, Valindra, you're able to discern some of the actual language, and you can see that as he's writing, he just pretty much goes, "Of course I can write. Every man worth his salt can write."
Okay, good. So, could you tell us your name, please, so I can refer to you by your name?
He just goes, "Everything. Sure, everything.
Oh, actually, could you write your name?
Scotland. You see,
Ask him how much salt he's worth.
you see him just write his name down for a moment, and it's kind of broken, but you eventually see it as either Joe, Joseph.
Can I call you Joe? All right, Joe. You have a lovely home. Can we stay the night here? And you can just nod yes or no.
Yes.
I got yes. Okay. Well, I'm Valindra. This is Varkesh. That's Rook, and that's Lulu.
Lulu's
Do you
just kind of just sitting in the back going, mm-hmm. And she's kind of leaning into the wall, kind of nodding and slightly sleeping.
Not to be rude, but do you always speak like this?
It's just going to be rude.
He kind of looks around and goes,
Actually, if you could stick to writing, I can't hear very well. No, I can't. No, I can't. I'm like completely deaf.
She gets lost in transit all the time.
I tried to talk to her and she just ignores me every time.
He
So
once more begins to write and whatnot, and he basically the gist of what he kind of summarizes to you is, it's been this way for a long time, ever since I found that damned book. I can't stop it anymore over the years, and I've just given in.
Oh, what book? Can you show it to me? Can I read it?
As you do say that, he kind of pulls himself off of the seat and heads towards his little cot, and you can see that he kind of pulls around a few of these scraps of cloth, little bits of what looks to be like fur and hide, things to make it comfy and cozy, but he brings out what appears to be a small little black leather-bound notebook, probably no bigger than about maybe 6 or 7 inches in length. Not too thick, but he shows it to you, and he puts it on the table.
Where did you find it?
It just once more goes back to the writing, and he just says, "Found it in my house one day."
Okay, so he was always crazy. Well, can I flip open the book?
Sure.
Look inside it?
Yep, you flip it open, and you can see that most of the pages in there are made with very, very bizarre scribbles and scratches. Many of them are difficult to even discern, but from your intelligence check before, you recognize this is probably closer to actually true abyssal. This is literally that. I don't know if you have comprehend all languages when it comes to it being on paper, do you?
I do. It just says any written language.
All right, good. So yeah, so you can see. Okay, yeah. So the language that he's writing is just a little bit kind of broken because it's 2 languages in one. So the first writing is just like discerning it, but this is clear, 100% a language you recognize. Well, at least your patron is able to assist you in recognizing. And as you peer at it for a moment, your eyes just instinctively flick on a little glow, a blue glow. And as you look down, the words begin to morph, and you can actually read it. But it is absolutely in deep speech, now that you know. The deep speech itself it's weird. It's filled with nightmarish descriptions, horrific kind of details with things and rituals and magical incantations, beliefs and religions, all these just almost very occult kind of rants of just how the world is broken. There's different truths beyond the veil. There's nothing here that seems to be anything that is real. It's all an illusion, a fabrication of a dream, a different reality. Then it goes on to talking about that there are other creatures that lurk in the night, sleepers that exist in your mind, that feed on your brain, that take over your soul, other things that were once slaves that now rise again. There's a bit of like this kind of story of what looks to be a tiny bit of some kind of race or these individuals that had once ruled around the world and then now were slowly silenced and now they're starting to surface again. It's a mismatch of things, but a lot of it looks to be kind of almost like a Bible. A little bit of story and text and almost kind of like a religious practice as well as kind of a guide to how to live your life. So you can get that kind of, it looks like something that any kind of church would have issued out for some kind of belief.
While she's looking over it, Rook actually does lean over and glance at it. Does anything happen?
It just looks like a normal bit of gibberish to you.
He confirms he can't read this shit, then just leans back away.
Do you believe this, Joe? Is this what you practice? Do you follow this?
He kind of looks at the pages from and goes, yeah, I should have been.
Nope, I can't. I'm deaf. You gotta write it down.
I want to go over and bonk him on the head like an old radio, see if that clears up the static.
How strong of a bonk?
Not a strong bonk, just a slight bonk.
Okay,
not
make
even
a strength check to see how well you can hold back your oomph.
I think I know my own muscles.
I think you know, but this is a very old man, and so this is a question of can you adjust quickly to the fact that this is not your average bonk?
So just a standard strength check?
Yes.
This is not your average bonk.
Okay, so I mean, you try to go for a gentle bonk, but it's a little bit more firm than you thought, and you can see that as you do it, you bump him a little too hard. He hits the floor a little bit with his head kind of banging down and going, ooh, as he comes onto the ground for a moment.
Did it work?
He doesn't move.
Oops.
Did you just kill that man?
I'm a cleric. I can fix this.
You should probably do that.
I'm gonna go fix this.
As you lean down to kind of help and fix this, he does kind of bring himself back up slowly going,
Well, of course, we've got him going slower now, so we might be able to...
He's just kind of trying to push you away from him. He's not very happy. You just kind of assaulted him, and he's now trying to
Healing word!
get you away.
Level 1.
Okay, so go ahead and throw your spell out as you try to heal the wound you inflicted.
I barely touched him. Just killing the elderly straight
So
off the
you burn a spell slot to heal him, but you do that, and as he's kind of like moving away, he feels that sudden glow as your hand pushes out this wave of energy that hits him, and he just kind of...
I'm sorry. I thought I'm a healer, and where I'm from, a slight bonk on the head often tends to work. I am telling the truth.
I'm becoming more and more convinced that you...
Are you telling the truth?
Yes!
No, I think you're lying. Make a deception check for me, please.
No. No. Why couldn't I be a lying, cheating member of the clergy? I would have great deception checks then. Shit! Oh, no. Yes. I clicked it. Is it showing up?
Yes, 18. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah. No, he looks at you and he kind of just goes...
Namaste, old man. Namaste.
He just kind of like doesn't want you to touch him again, but he just kind of accepts your excuse and he sits down once more.
Safe.
He wants to instinctively rub his head, but it doesn't hurt anymore, so he's kind of in that moment of like...
So, sir, you seemed to know we were coming. What tipped you off to our presence?
He looks at you from like... I
Think he was magic.
I'm going to be straight with you, sir. I do not understand what you were saying. It is probably best that you write it so that she can translate.
And you see him once more begin to write down a little bit. Valindra able to understand it. He says, I just cast a quick spell on the perimeter.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Well, I do appreciate you coming out to greet us. Do you care for this bridge on your own?
He nods slowly.
That is an impressive task.
No.
About all I had to say on the matter. I really have nothing.
That's fine.
So you're a spellcaster. Did the book give you powers?
He kind of does a little bit of
Are you connected to whoever wrote the book?
He kind of looks down at the book for a moment and kind of picks it up and closes it and kind of puts it to his head for a moment, breathing it in slightly.
Do you want to eat
Before he
it?
puts it down and goes, and he once more picks up the paper and begins to write. I'm trying my best to do this for him, but the sound that he kind of brings out, it's almost as if someone took a record and played it in reverse.
I
So it's
swear to
kind
God, I've had an
So it's
Aussie
kind of like listening to
Just
the
like
words
that.
backwards. So like it's literally like taking what I say and just reversing it backwards.
Interesting.
That's
Okay.
really cool. I
So
like
that's
that.
kind of what it is. I'm trying. I mean,
No,
the,
it's
the only
awesome.
thing
I
I know
love
is
it.
the one from like World of Warcraft where it goes, "I play all my records backwards." That's the only one I know. But
Evil.
but yeah. So he's speaking slightly backwards to you. That's what deep speech kind of sounds like. It's this kind of echo sound. But
Okay,
you do
okay.
see that he does write it down continuously now for you, trying to pick up on the idea that if you need some detailed description, he will write it down. But otherwise, he'll just do some yeses and nos occasionally.
Okay, that'll work. So, you are connected to who wrote this book. Who wrote it? Do you know their name?
Yeah, I don't understand it.
You don't know the name of the... I mean, do you have something you call them? How do you like... Are you in constant contact with them?
Why is that? I think that's a telephone number.
No, he kind of picks up the book and he heads and goes, Deutschstadt.
Toilet paper.
No.
Understand?
Oh my god. We're...
Is their name Deutschstadt? Is that what you're saying?
Deutschstadt.
Can you write it down for me?
Okay.
Never send Varkesh as a diplomat, ever.
He will lie to the people after smacking them in the head. That's what we've learned tonight. It's just a
I
bad
just think
idea.
that every random word means toilet paper.
And you still haven't given this man the traditional peck-kissing greeting. What are you doing?
I know! I'm so rude. Come here.
No. Barkash back.
Back where you got a lion taming whip?
I'm just gonna put my hand in front of him and pull a biscuit out of my bag.
Doesn't work. It's not the right kind. You got us lost! And I snatch the biscuit. I eat it.
But yes, you do see that as you ask him to write it down after your little kind of party shenanigans. While you're doing this, he's writing, and so eventually he turns it over to you. It's broken. It's a very difficult thing to see, but you do see him spell it out. The letters you can closely try and guess might be D-O-I-S, D-E-T, maybe. Doistet, perhaps.
It doesn't mean anything.
No, not to you.
Does anyone know what D-I-O-S-D D-E-T something?
I haven't the slightest clue.
Not me. I am so sorry. I am lost.
Okay. Well,
I wonder if Smokey is going to go insane after playing around with this book that we recovered. Or, I do apologize, not insane. I wonder if his speech is going to be affected, much like yours has been.
He just doesn't quite follow where you're going with this because did it say those Isolats?
Don't mind me.
what did you do with this book before you started experiencing speech problems? Was it Did you just read it, or did you
Do you smell burnt
Yeah,
toast?
Good. I just read this book.
You're dead.
You do notice that this book is nothing similar to the tome that you are transporting. The tome you have is very elaborate. It is like a grimoire. It is a massively kind of like heavy parchment book with lots of kind of embroidery and patterning on it that kind of makes it look like it has a spellbook essence to it. This, however, just kind of looks like a plain bound. I mean, literally, if we could kind of give it like a simile kind of look, it is like a Bible, like a little black Bible you would find in any hotel room. It's small, just plain and black, but the pages inside have gibberish writing in them.
That's what you get for letting teenagers doodle in the old scripture.
But you do see that as you are continuing talking, Lulu goes, "Darlings, please, can we perhaps leave the gobbledygook for later? I would love to get some sleep, and I need my beauty rest."
Yes, do you have somewhere we could stay, Joe?
He just kind of looks at he kind of picks up your hand and guides you over towards the hammock so that you could sleep in the hammock.
Mm-hmm.
I will let Lulu take the hammock.
Lulu does not object. She's just like, "Darling, you are a saint, thank you. Good night." As she goes into the hammock and immediately kind of puts the
Just
cloak
tumble
over.
out of it?
She's what?
Did she tumble out of it?
No. She's quite settled into it. She just gets in and then pulls her hood up and kind of blocks off all light that she can. And just is like, you can tell that as the evening progressively gets later and later, she gets a little bit more irritable, a little more irritable, a little more irritable. So she's just at that moment just like, "I'm done with this," as she goes to her bed.
I love Lulu.
Reminds me so much of my sister.
Okay. Yeah, so there was just the one hammock there?
There's just the one hammock, but you do see that as you try to talk about rest, he does pick up the table, move it off to the side, and he does bring down what look to be spare pelts, little bits of fur and cloth that he tries to make little makeshift pillows on the ground for all of you.
You were a very kind man, so thank you again. And,
He does set 3 pillows out, or 3 pillow-ish kind of sleeping areas.
Well, I've already had a really long rest, so I will give all the pillows and skin pillows and pelts and stuff like that to Brooke and Belindra, and I will stay up for a little while longer.
Okay.
I work on my secrets.
All right. Are you working in the shack or outside?
I will work outside somewhere.
Okay. So just with Varkesh just saying he'll be outside working and keeping an eye out and everything for the rest of you.
No one follow me. You might get lost. And I walk outside.
He does once more. Again, large frame, small door. It's a little funny and awkward every time to watch Varkesh move through these tiny spaces. So it's like this kind of like, he tries to make a grand entrance. "I'll see you outside, then don't follow me." As he tries to kind of jimmy his way
Fucking
through.
doors!
But he does get through.
Bunch of racist carpenters.
But yes, so you two are going to take a long rest, correct?
yes.
All right. So as you go and you settle down for the night, Varkesh, you do your work that you can. Are you doing this as for the full 8 hours? You're just going to commit to working.
Oh no, not the full 8 hours. Probably about maybe an hour or so.
Okay, all right, sure. So you're just going to do that channel. So
Yeah.
you do your spell. You channel your own powers, allowing you to hasten this process that you have secretly kept to yourself this entire time. Going off to the side, maybe using a bit of the roofing from the shack to give you a slight bit of dry area to work in. But you do complete your ritual and your task for the hour before you just go into surveillance mode. Make a perception check with disadvantage for me.
I walk like a toy soldier sentinel.
Okay.
Sorry, what was it? Survival? Did you say?
Perception
Sorry,
at
perception.
disadvantage.
Oh dear.
Alright, so you don't see anything threatening, nor even any kind of additional cart or traffic coming down the road or over the bridge. But as you are doing your little soldiering patrol, kind of doing it back and forth and looking inside, you notice this quite obviously, because this is something that you, as your time passes, you look inside. Joseph is not sleeping a wink. He is literally sitting in a corner off to the side. Now that people have taken up a majority of his shack space in this kind of long house, he's kind of gone to the opposite corner, and he is just sitting there near the stove, opening his book and reading it. That's all he's doing. He's just sitting there and reading the book, just continuously flipping through the pages.
Like a miniature Godzilla, I will wait at the window and I will stay in stealth mode, and I will try and watch him to see if there's anything bad. And I will act upon any negative things that happen.
Okay. So you do see that as he is flipping and reading it, he is kind of giving this like little bit of a one-over and just kind of looking at stuff. He does seem to read some of it, and as he reads the book, you do actually hear that his voice, instead of it sounding like a broken mix of common and this deep speech, it actually just sounds like a pure language at this point. It sounds like deep speech itself, a very pure, noticeable kind of ringing tone, where now instead of it sounding like the raving madman, it sounds much more like someone just reciting or incanting something.
Okay, well, I'll continue to observe.
Okay. You just notice that he is constantly looking, reading, looking. He doesn't look out. He doesn't care to lift his head. He does seem to be basically focused on this, and he doesn't seem to be tired or look to be any kind of drowsy as the night goes on until the morning comes. And as you kind of do your version of looking out, looking in, dawn arrives, and your party members all begin to kind of stir and roll around on the dirt a little bit before they each kind of come to, first one waking up, kind of making enough noise for the second to start to rise for the day, as eventually Lulu also pushes out of her hammock as she just kind of stretches a little bit, going, oh, I hate camping. Oh, this is terrible. And she just tries to get herself to look nice again. She's kind of doing her hair a little bit, going, oh, there's no hope.
This barely counts as camping, Lulu.
No, I'm with Lulu. This is awful. I
Yes,
mean, it's better than would have been outside, but...
I'm just looking through the window, dripping.
Very true. Well, yes, as you do look out the window, you can see what looks like a poor orphan Varkesh soaked in the rain, just kind of looking in as if longingly wanting to be inside with the people.
Eat the birds,
I've been up there all night.
He wants to be where the people are. But yes.
Yep.
But yeah, you do see that as you all come to waking. For those of you who slept, it's not really much of a difference. You just assume Joseph might have woken up before you, but he's sitting there just reading, and he sees you wake up and just goes, oh, Shade, good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
I mean, I guess we
should probably continue on our way.
Do we owe you for lodging?
No, I said
Okay.
He just kind of takes your hand for a moment, puts it here, and just goes,
Sorry for swear.
Thank you.
I would like to sleight of hand 5 gold coins onto the table as I grab my paper and notebook, minus the one piece of paper that I'm actually sliding the gold pieces under that he had been writing on prior.
Oh, okay. So yeah, trying to subtly put it in. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check as you just kind of gift him these 5 coins without him hopefully realizing it.
Oh, that's only a 12.
Well, I mean, you know, I assumed you as a rogue were going to just outright beat him whatsoever, but I feel like now he has to make a perception check to that 12.
I only rolled a 4 on dice, so...
Okay, no,
hey,
man.
okay.
He's been rolling 3s all night, so no. He doesn't notice that you just slide in. However, I believe Valindra and Varkesh, they have a passive perception above that, so they notice you do.
Wait, do I?
I do not. I am not perceptive.
Oh, well, okay. Varkesh should, because he's
Oh,
a
I
cleric.
do. I do have a natural perception of 14. I'm just like looking in for the window going,
I'm not paying him any mind, even though I do definitely see him with my 18 passive perception.
Well, considering you also hear that little tit, 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 tit on the arms.
Yeah. Yep.
they've learned how to open doors.
Oh no, clever girl.
But yes.
Well, thank you, Joe. And thank you for letting me read your book. It was very interesting.
And you see him pick up the paper as he sees the coins. Goes, oh, it's good. And he picks up the coins and tries to give them back to one of you. He's just holding them out for you to take.
They're not mine. I don't.
I'm already outside.
He just goes. He goes to Lulu, and Lulu goes,
Maybe.
"Oh, darling, thank you. 5 for
No,
me.
Lulu, you didn't do that.
No,
Maybe
she's
it's
giving
the
them to me,
same
darling.
person
I'm
that
not going
gave
to
you the
refuse
book.
free money. Thank you." And she just takes it.
No, that's
Away.
As Rook leaves the cabin, I will obviously be standing next to the door, and as he comes out, I'll say, good morning! Just sneeze all over him accidentally.
Oh God.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Wait, I pull out one of the napkins.
So he pulls out a damp
That's
napkin
right.
that's been out there all night, completely soaked and wet, as he just kind of does this wet
It's
wiping.
kept dry between my muscular pectorals.
Well, you don't have much cover over your openings in those pectorals, so
That's
the
true.
glistening water has been trailing down your muscles, causing them to get very wet and moist. So now there's not a dry spot
Like
on you.
flash dance.
Yeah,
What a feeling.
I'll take it over sneeze.
true. So you do take the
Take
wet
it.
cloth and
Dap myself
Right,
off.
you just had a
Hand
breath
it
weapon
back.
on you.
Oh, good, good.
That
Yeah,
is,
breath
yes,
weapon
that is the
disease.
strongest breath weapon you'll ever get from this Dragonborn.
Breath weapon disease. I like it.
Yep. Plague attack. Rakesh, I choose you.
But he's not a green dragon, so who knows where that came from. So yes, but you do
Somewhere.
see that Lulu takes the coins without hesitation. Free money for her.
Oh,
No questions
Lulu.
asked.
Lulu, give them back.
Why,
Maybe-
darling? This is mine now. He gave it to me.
No, I'm gonna look at Joe. What if they were from the same person that gave you the book? What if you were meant to have them?
He kind of looks at it and goes, he just kind of once more writes down and goes, they've never given me money before.
Maybe it was for your act of kindness to sheltering strangers.
Yeah, right.
As you're trying to kind of coax him into the idea, and you're trying to coax Lulu to giving it back, go ahead and make a persuasion check to see if you can forcibly guide this kind gesture back to its intended target.
Oh,
Okay.
that's really good.
Good roll.
With a little bit of kind of, like saying, you earned it, you deserved it, and Lulu just kind of looking at you, just going, fine, it's only 5 gold, as she pulls it out and just hands it to him and goes, spend it wisely, as if you have anything to spend it on here at this shithole. And she just kind of moves out.
That was very rude, Lulu.
Well, that was under her breath. She was just...
I wouldn't notice with my past perception either.
Not with your passive perception, no, probably. You would have seen that she's mumbling something, and most likely Lulu it's probably going to be some insult. But
Probably. Okay, well,
like the accent over the second syllable there. And so that's great.
I guess we're gonna go. Thank you again, Joe. One more quick question. When he talks to you, is it normal? Does he talk to you? The guy who gave you this book? Can you write?
He just once more kind of writes and goes, sounds normal to me.
Okay. That's all. I'm curious. Yep, have a good day. And I guess I'll leave.
Alright. You all go back to the cart and hitch the horse back up this time instead of Varkesh pulling it, I'm assuming.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
That was an actual real sneeze this time. I'm sorry.
Unless Varkesh would like to put the bit back in his mouth.
Nope, I did my bit. I did my bit.
You did your bit, yes. That
He's not very dedicated to this bit. He already dropped
Oh, we are just the punniest lot, aren't we? But yes, so we have you all get back into the cart as you once more cross the bridge, getting on top of the actual stones, just getting that noticeable as you hit the hard ground and kind of go over the river and cross to the wide lands that lead up to Alniel. So as you continue down this road, and the daylight has kind of pierced through some of the clouds, it's still raining. The rain is very heavy and consistent right now. But at the moment, you're also a little curious, because I think some of you did score rather high on your checks.
Which ones?
On determining what your foe was in the last combat. Who was the one who was able to discern what that was? You were? Alright, Varkash, go ahead and just make for me a intelligence check.
Yeah, I'm pretty
No
sure it
vampire
was
shall sneak up on me.
I'm pretty sure it was both of them except for Valindra. Valindra was the only one that did not roll well.
So
Okay, so if Rook rolled it well, both of you can roll intelligence checks. Because this is something that you're kind of... You might just think, and it might click. Not for Varkash, though. Varkash, it
my
does not
brain
click.
is not active while in transit.
Alright, Rook, it clicks for you. You notice that there is something very odd, the fact that this is a creature, you know vampire. It's something that has been told, and there's been tales about it. They're fearsome, they're vile, and they're persistent, and they're exceptionally strong, and very much resilient to any kind of attack, and usually are able to heal it continuously whenever they're being punctured or stabbed or killed. The vampire you faced was not regenerating in the stories like you thought it was. It was kind of being held back by something, and one of the things that you remember is that the vampire can't cross running water. As you go over the bridge, you kind of get that little recognition, or that little kind of like, it can't, and it doesn't do running water that well. And you do know that sometimes people have been telling, if a vampire is caught out in the rain, and the water is flowing continuously on them, it can sometimes dampen their own necromantic regeneration. And so you know that right now, as the rain is holding, if it continues, the creature itself will not be able to heal effectively. If he can find respite somewhere in a cave, or in some kind of place just to keep dry, he might be able to recover and get to you. However, you do know that he cannot enter an abode without an invitation. So there's this kind of moment of thinking you might have a little bit of safety nets, but as to how long this might last, you don't know. But you do know that as long as the rain holds, there's a stronger chance of you being able to take him out. But once the rain stops...
Then we'll have some trouble. And that being said, out of curiosity, does this rain seem natural to me? Is there anything that might indicate it's not normal?
It seems natural for the most part. When you look up, there's nothing odd, no tempest, no storm, no creature, no shadow in the clouds. It's just a cloudy day with rain.
Well, go ahead and communicate that to Varkesh and Valindra by saying...
I already know it's raining.
Well, not that. The vampire. Cool. So long as it keeps raining and we find a way to rest within someone's house each night, I think we should be okay, at least from that vampire that fought us the other night. Although, I still don't think we should chance it. We should probably keep moving quickly.
I don't think I have it in me to fight another dead bitey thing.
Believe me, I'm not a fan of that idea either.
And as hilarious as it would be to see Valindra running around, going, my book, shit, it's your book, my book, shit, it's your book, I don't think I want to do it again.
Why not? That was a lot of fun.
I lost a metal umbrella! It was the worst day ever.
You're right.
It's bad luck to lose an umbrella around a vampire's neck. It must be bad luck somewhere.
I don't think it's actually a thing anywhere,
Has to
Varkesh.
be.
No, I don't think so. I think in no part of the world is that a saying.
That's like a purple raccoon crossing your path. That gives you bad luck too, right?
I've never seen... I think a purple raccoon crossing your path means you're on drugs, because I've never seen anything like that before.
Well, I've definitely heard this saying before. It's very true. If a purple raccoon crosses your path, it's horrible luck. It's fairly common in some parts of the world.
See? Apparently, Valindra, you lie. Why do you keep lying to me? Rook is the shady one, yet he keeps telling me the truth.
No,
Kissing
I'm not.
pectorals while you say hello.
No.
Knowing for a fact that there are bad luck purple raccoons out there.
Varkesh, he's messing with you.
I am hurt that you would ever imply that I would do such a thing.
I will use my clericking powers to insight check the both of you.
I mean, if you doubt them, you can certainly roll insight.
Barkesh really wants to trust his friends.
I mean, as far as you can tell, they're probably pretty honest, Float. They're trying to keep a nice, friendly atmosphere. Doesn't seem like they're attempting any kind of harm or lie.
Barkesh, I have not lied to you.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty darn sure.
Are you sure?
Yes?
Sow the seeds of doubt.
It's funny because technically I just watched the last episodes and I know for a fact that you did lie to him.
Did I lie to
You
Barkesh?
did! There was a big lie! There was a big lie.
I to the big blue dragonborn.
I thought I just lied to Rook.
Well, you
Constantly, all the time.
you did kind of hold the truth back from us, but you did absolutely flat out lie to Barkesh. But at the moment, his insight just doesn't really seem to... You seem trusting to him. Honestly, she's never lied
Would
to
you like me to forge you a shovel?
A shovel?
to dig you
No,
deeper in
I
the
don't.
pit that you're
I
putting
don't need
yourself
help
in.
digging this hole that I'm in. Thank you.
But yes, so you all continue down the road in the daylight, seeing now that you have also, now that you've kind of gotten to the main road, this is where the core of some of the civilization has basically kept itself in check. Because here, between the two rivers on this road, if you look on the map, you know it's right there. It's just above the O and the U. All the way there to Alniel, you are reaching farmland. This is where a majority of the actual crops would be grown for the people of Alniel, as well as for other cities in turn. This place is filled with vast, wide, flat grounds, and as you look out left and right, you can see that most of it has been deforested. There is nothing but, just expanding fields of what looks to be like corn, peas, cabbage, all the different vegetables and fruits that you could probably notice. A few orchards as well, too, of all these different places set up on the road, with houses just spaced occasionally between a couple miles of each other. So there is a sense of slight safety and civilization, and you feel like there's no wild, no animal, no creatures that could ambush you without you very clearly being able to spot them in this vista. But as you are traveling, I need all of you to make perception checks for me.
So Valinda's fault.
17.
Belinda's fault.
Well,
Because she's apparently blind.
okay. I mean, both of you not too well. Rook, this is something because you wanted to keep more of an eye out for this, and you're kind of just like constantly clicking and looking up as well as around. As you start looking up, and you've spent about a good hour of just watching the clouds and kind of anticipating how well they're traveling, you notice that the weather is probably going to turn to sunshine probably by the end of today. And you do know it is at least another 2 days to Alniel if you keep a steady pace. If you quicken the pace, you can, but it's down to you.
It will turn to sunshine by the end of the day.
By the end of this day to the next day, the rain will stop.
There we go. Don't confuse Varkesh like this. Just don't do
Well,
it.
this is something you didn't even succeed on the check, so you wouldn't know.
Mhm.
It's wet.
It looks like it's going to stop raining soon. We'd best hurry.
Okay, I guess we will push forward then.
Do you want to keep the steady pace or double it?
Double it, please. And, Varkesh, be ready to help the horse if you can.
What's that supposed to mean?
With heels, Varkesh, in case it looks a little worn out.
I'm a cleric, not a veterinarian, Jim.
Who's Jim?
You look like a Jim. Jim Crow.
I was waiting for that. But yes, so you tell Lulu to quicken the pace and move faster down the road to get to Alniel. As you progress much more quickly and you kind of make your way down there, the horse is starting to strain and it is affecting the creature.
I will pull it. Not the horse, the cart.
Okay, well, how far and how long do you want to let the horse take the burden before you...
Well, first, Varkesh is going to unhook the horse, and then he's going to put the horse in the carriage with everyone else.
That's going to be hard and difficult, but before we get to trying to coax a horse onto a wagon, how many hours do you want the horse to be quick pacing itself down the road?
You decide.
Well, you decide.
Oh, wait, it's all me now?
I mean, it's whenever Varkesh decides to help the creature.
I will allow the horse some respite, and I will unbridle the poor bugger and put him on the cart.
How many hours do you let him basically race you forward before you take over?
Oh, I'll do it now.
Well, it's only...
I will hook myself up, and I will sprint.
Okay, well, so the creature's not gone on for that long. It's only probably been an hour or two.
Then that's fine.
Okay, so after an hour or two, you then pull the horse back, give him like a break. Now, as he is, you're trying to get him on the cart. Make an animal handling check with disadvantage, because coaxing a horse onto a cart without a ramp, I mean, it's going to be quite interesting. Too bad you didn't have advantage.
Technically, the first roll is on the one on the left. The disadvantage is the 24.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not how that works.
So,
Would be in real life.
You try to coax the horse onto the wagon. It's very difficult. It doesn't know what to do or what you want it to do without an actual ramp for it to walk on. It's just kind of like you're pushing its breast like at the edge of the wagon, and it doesn't know how to do the step up. It's not getting it, and it's just making me a little more confused.
Horsey friend, up on there you shall be able to sleep, and I shall pull you, and this cart, and the rest of these people.
Varkesh, I think with it being unbridled, it should be rest enough, and we really don't have time to waste trying to get it to climb on here.
Actually, as a matter of fact, why don't you two help this horse get onto the cart, while I then try and get ready to pull the cart?
I will try to get the horse on the cart.
Okay, go ahead and make an animal handling check at disadvantage, unless Rook is helping you.
No.
Okay, no. Okay, I mean, you try, and Varkesh had a little better time of getting at it, but now that the horse is seeing the repeated pattern, it's just not having any of it.
Varkesh, can't you just... no, never mind. I don't think he wants up on the cart.
Well, he can just follow along behind, I suppose.
Okay. So you
Then I will start pulling the cart.
Alright, so you tie the horse to the actual wagon, having a little rope lead to it, and you pick up the cart, and you begin going down the road. Sadly for you, you can't necessarily make a super fast pace. This is basically you just doing a standard pace, giving the horse some rest. So go ahead and make a strength check or athletics to see how much... Oh. Okay.
I slipped and fell.
So,
my ankle! Ah, shit!
Pretty much on the first kind of trick, it's like, you got this, and you start to pull it, and as you do, you realize that the lead in your mouth is a little short from what you did, so when you start to do a pull forward, your neck kind of puts it back, and you're just like, oh! Three things happen at once. Neck goes back, feet go up, arms go flailing into the mud, and you suddenly feel that little tiny... as you look back, and you feel a terrible, terrible pain in your tail.
Well, I guess we'll hook the horse back up.
That part where you had felt the scar, where you had the previous injury, it has exacerbated it badly. It is not broken, but oh my dear God, is it painful right now. You are just like, you can't move. You're at that silent point of pain, like when you stub your toe on the corner of a wall, and you're just like, I can't talk right now, I can't explain to you why I'm in pain, just let me live this in silence, because explaining this to you just hurts all the more, and so you're just kind of like on the ground, just going...
Rook leaning over the side of the cart. Varkesh, are you alright?
Yep.
Varkesh?
He's not doing well. You can tell he's hurt.
I just lunged up and clack.
No, Varkesh, don't choke Rook. What? What's the words? What happened?
I just let go of him.
God, are you okay?
That's what's uncalled for. Move to the other side of the cart and just sit down.
I'm fine.
Really? Because you don't look fine.
I'm so
Don't look fine.
fine. I'm fine. Fuck my life. I'm fine. Let's go.
No,
Every
see,
step
people
you
who are
take
actually
hurts.
fine don't say "fuck my life." So
Every
I-
step you take hurts right now. It's kind of like when you've trapped a nerve. Any kind of motion that you try to do beyond just being stiff as a board just kind of flares it and flares it. It is like a very irritating, and it's not going to happen. You cannot pull this cart right now.
I
You
can't
need to
pull the
take a
cart.
rest to get rid of this.
okay, just get back up in the cart. We'll hook the horse up. Let him keep going a little while longer. It's fine.
I just defeatedly like crawl onto the cart. And just lay
It
on
is a
my
very awkward stance, as if kind of like someone has a bit of something in between their legs. They can't move right, so it's kind of like the cowboy walk. It's kind of like that awkward little motion. And just trying to get in the cart, you see him just kind of going, just eventually getting in, and the sitting down part is just like this tenuous kind of, like sinking into a very hot tub, and you really don't want to go too fast, because if you do, it's just gonna.
You made it sound like I had hemorrhoids.
Well, but yeah, I mean, it's right there in the back. It is worse than the tailbone. So you really, I think it's like the coccyx or something like that for us. So yeah, but you definitely sprained it back.
It's hard.
But
Because she's down and out.
You do eventually sit down and you try to just hold it in, because the cart is bumpy, and every bump and jostle is just kind of doing the. Every 5 minutes or so, you get that kind of shock of shit of like.
No, I don't want to do
You think
this.
you find the most comfortable spot, but instead it's just damn it. So at the moment you are.
My ass hurts.
You're out of the count for today for pulling the cart, but the horse is able to pull it for you at double
Thank you,
pace.
horsey.
As it going at quick. All right, so the horse is going at full speed. Very uncomfortable for Varkesh as the sudden
I just start crying.
starts really going in full gear. But yes, you do see that the horse is going as fast as it can, and you find that as you do this, you get closer and closer to Alniel, and as you start to see that the sky begins to darken again and night comes, the rain begins to slowly fade away and subside. There is less of it now, and you can suddenly see that after about maybe 2 hours after dark, it stops. The rain is gone, and Rook, for you, that kind of makes you go a little bit on edge. And
Sitting up taller, definitely keeping an eye out.
But as you are kicking the horse and it's still going in full gear, you know you are very close to the city itself. It can't be too much farther away, but you do get that like moment of, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. So you're kind of like looking on the edge. I need you.
Varkesh, do you think you could give the horse some light, please? Like on the.
I can't move. My ass is on fire.
Well, can you just cast it on your mace so the horse can see?
Here, hold this. And I just throw Valindra my mace.
Okay. Did you cast light on it first?
Yeah, I'm going to.
Okay. I can't remember if light's a touch spell.
I think it is
so
a
you
touch
have to
spell,
touch
yes.
it, yeah.
Yeah, but like, bing, and then
All right, so yes, you have a beacon for you to hold out in front of the horse to make sure it doesn't fall and break its legs. So yes, so now that you actually have a torchlight up there, you don't have to worry about the perception check because you're now able to veer away from the rocks and the bad points on the road. So you go ahead and you head towards Alniel, racing in the dark. But as you get there, you can eventually see tiny orange lights in the distance. The spires of Alniel, very high in the sky, this very distant, almost kind of like this glowing of fairy light that just seems to hover and keep itself in the air, suspended in the black, away from the ground. It's just kind of like these hovering orbs. But you do see that as you get closer to it, you start to kind of get that sigh of relief, but Rook, make a perception check for me with disadvantage.
Guess some closed gate. Let's find out.
Okay.
That one for 9.
So you keep going at full speed, and as you are continually going down the road, you don't hear it first. But eventually, as you're all traveling, there's a sudden on the back of the cart, and you look behind you, and you see a tall figure, very similar from last time, hair slicked back, completely dry, As he looks to have gotten himself recovered, he looks down at you and starts scanning the cart. I need all of you to roll for initiative, please.
When he landed on the car, did he land on my tail at all?
No. He did not land on your tail.
God.
But yes, so we're going to go ahead and reuse the previous map. So.
Where?
Alright, so we've got this.
I'm not on the map. I'm on a world map.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry. I'll move you guys. So
Okay.
first, yeah. So and then we'll get you to go. All right.
15. Does the cleric get to go first? This might be good.
We'll see how the vampire does.
Nope. No vampire here.
I mean,
Has
you
a-
said that he's pretty clearly right there.
Has negative 20 to its initiative.
Okay. So.
Being in the proximity of Varkesh gives it a negative 20.
All right. So I'll just go ahead and add you guys in since it's a little different on that one. So let's go ahead and get you in there. So Valindra, Varkesh, and Rook. All right. Rook at a 11. Varkesh at a 15. And Valindra at a 9. Alright, Lulu is busy keeping the cart going at full speed and is racing towards the gates of Alneo, trying to get you there as fast as she can. But that's all that she can do right now, so her entire turn is devoted to that one task. So let's just go ahead and quickly get him up in here. Where are you? Down here. Alright, so we've got... There he goes! Okay. So, he rolls on his initiative a 12. Varkesh, you get to go first.
And I am going to just go, oh fuck, not you again! And I just clap my hands and go turn undead.
Alright, so you're going to do turn undead. Okay.
Yep.
So, as you bring out your symbol once more, the glowing gem inside just kind of beginning to glow, that bright white light, you begin to kind of push this out towards the creature, having it begin to cower a little bit from this divine solar light, and you see
Be gone,
him make
thoughts!
a wisdom saving throw, right? Alright, wisdom
Bye,
saving
Winnie.
Yeah,
Okay.
bye, Winnie.
throw. Well, Winnie can
Oh,
make a saving
shit.
throw too.
Sorry.
So
Gets
go
like
ahead.
what?
You're gonna run out of Fred one day.
Gets like a +1 to wisdom, or is it +0?
He probably has a 0, I may think. But again, Winnie can also sit in the pocket dimension for safety at any time, so...
Yeah, but it's not my turn, and he was already out.
Yeah,
So
sadly. So let's see. The vamp... 2020. Okay, so he resists it. What is the DC for it, Varkesh? Is it 15, 16, 14?
It's a 15.
God
Okay,
damn
so
it!
sadly, as he holds it up, the light just kind of...
Sorry.
pushes out in a large blast, and you see Winnie just kind of eyes widen for a moment before he just completely separates as the stitches that were keeping him together just wisp away to nothing, and he just tumbles.
I can't even look Valindra in the eye at this moment. I'm like, mm-mm.
So, but you do see
Bring
that he
back the
looks
dice.
at you for a moment and just kind of puts it back, and he goes, "That's not going to work."
Oh, bonus action kick in the groin.
Well, sadly, that is not something you get. That is probably
Dang it!
closer to a monk, but
You can sort of do that with your spiritual weapon, just saying.
I'm not doing that right now.
okay, all right, you could do the spirit weapon if you wanted.
No.
But yeah, you do see him looking down at you, and he's trying to discern if you have the book or not. So
I have the book.
He's he's just looking to see if you can see it on your person.
Oh,
or anything.
okay.
Because who has the book right now? Actually,
It's in the back.
We're not telling you, DM.
Yeah, he's got to find it.
It's in the bag of holding, isn't it?
it's
Yeah,
right.
it's not
Is
a
it in
little.
Varkesh's bag of holding?
It is in my bag of holding.
All right, so he's going to make a wisdom check to see because right now
Right
now he's
vampire.
looking to see who has it from what he's been looking for. Alright, Varkesh, make a deception check for me to see if you can throw him off the scent. Look like you don't have it, in a way.
This is gonna be
Can
stupid.
I do the same since I have a large sheaf of paper in my bag?
You can try to fake him out, when it's your turn.
Okay.
Okay, you do see that he is honing in on you, Varkesh, and he immediately does his first attack to claw at you and to try and grapple your neck to hold you in place. 15.
Misses.
So
Like
no,
a
he
bitch.
tries, and you just quickly raise the shield up and just kind of go, aha! As he then takes his left hand and tries to do it again, but you turn it around, and he once more hits nothing but the metal.
Just keep flipping him off every time he misses.
Aha! Aha! But yes, that is so unfortunate. He sadly does not get to grapple you,
Don't was he upset?
but he does have this high suspicion that you have the book.
I have nothing.
Rook, it's your turn.
Eat the bird.
Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is... Alright. So I'm going to call, "You're not taking my book," and try to shove him off the cart.
Okay, alright. Go ahead and make a, I believe this is very similar to a grapple attack. It's just a, turning it into a shove.
It is
So go ahead and make your athletics check.
3.
Okay, well, let's see if he gets in that one. No, but he rolled pretty shit either way. Too bad you couldn't beat him. So you try to push him off, but you see him just kind of push back a little bit, not expecting you to do that, but he just stands his ground and looks down at you. Just goes as his fangs come out, looking down at you. Or as you kind of, he's trying to make you remember that moment where you felt two piercing punctures in your neck, and he's kind of
The day Rook got a hickey.
He's trying to give you that kind of moment of fear, like he's come back for you. Valindra.
I'll still take a bonus action crossbow shot.
Oh, sure, yeah, go ahead.
Offhand crossbow, 20 to hit.
It does hit. You do get sneak because there is an ally within 5 feet.
Wow, that
Okay,
was
a 13. That
absolutely
is.
garbage rolls.
Not that great, but not too bad. Alright. Valindra.
I'm going to glare at Barcat for killing Winnie. Then I will. Oh, God. Okay. I'm going to. I'm going to cast Blindness Deafness on it.
Oh. Alright, so is that a con save?
Yep, it's con save.
Alright, and which do you wish it to be?
Blind, please.
Alright, blind as he makes his con save. 21.
God damn it.
So you try to send this magic once more, the blacking that goes over your eyes that blinds your mortal vision but gives you the extra sight. You try to extend that same kind of motion to him to kind of wash his eyes in black. But as it does, you just see him just kind of turning it away for a moment as he pushes it away and the black that once covered his eyes just disappear as he can see once more.
Okay. Well, that will be it for me.
Varkash, what do you wish to do?
Okay. I want to take a silver coin from my person.
Uh-huh.
I want to cast daylight on it
Okay.
and then shove it down the vampire's mouth.
You do know that last time the daylight does not do anything to the vampire.
Not even I shove it in his mouth.
Sadly, no. You made this a check last time when you tried to discern whether or not it would be an effective spell.
So I did. Then I am going to bonus action use my spiritual weapon to spring him behind him.
Okay, so you spring your spiritual weapon into existence as you have it go right around and behind. It does miss, sadly, as you try to whack him with it.
And for my main action, I am going to... I'm going to try turn undead again.
Okay, alright, so he makes another wisdom save as you once more bring up your holy symbol, and as the weapon comes behind, trying to get him to be, like, ducking out of the way and getting a distraction, you try to hold the symbol up to once more instill the fear in him as you blast out the holy wave. 18. He just kind of veers back a bit, blinking, just going, "You don't quit, do you?"
So disappointed I pulled out my headphones by accident. Yeah, and that's me.
Alright, Now, Rook, you were making this attempt to deceive him by making the whole "stay away from my book." Please make a deception check for me, and he will counter it with his insight.
Good luck.
All right, so he thinks at first it might be Varkesh, but as he turns and looks at you, he kind of like locks back on and goes, "Fine." And you see him once more go out to grab you, his two hands just trying to grip. 24.
That'll hit.
All right, so instead of dealing damage, he grabs you by the neck and he lifts you up and holds you up, going, "So what will it be, Bert? The book or your life?" As he just takes it, you see him then begin to squeeze and do his second unarmed strike to try and damage you by basically throttling you. 22.
That'll hit.
All right, would you like to use Uncanny Dodge?
Yeah, might as well.
All right, so you half it a little bit as you kind of get your own hands in there, just kind of pulling them apart a little bit, just to give you moments of air, but you do feel that bruising begin to settle in as the grip is just restricting your throat.
I gotta set my HP back to max. It was still on the minimized version.
No problem. All right. So yeah, now this is going to be your turn, Rook.
Okay, I'll adjust it accordingly. I'll go ahead and try to escape the grab.
Good question. Does he still have my umbrella wrapped around his neck?
He does not.
Oh. Fucker.
That's not happening.
All right, so he makes a contested athletics check to keep you in. He fails with a nat 1. So you see him just kind of a little too cocky with his grip as you kind of wait for a moment, and you see that as he brings you closer, you just kind of do this neck, and Bird comes to his face going, "Burp!" And you just bird bop him right there with the beak into his face, causing him to instinctively go back and just grab his nose, and you just drop down. You kind of scurry away.
And
Just a little peck.
and then I'll go ahead and oh yeah, I'll take a shot at him with the crossbow again.
Okay.
And we'll see how 15 to hit.
That misses, sadly. As you try to get it right in, you can see that it comes up and just kind of hits his arm, but it doesn't phase him, and he snaps it out.
Okay, now I'm my turn.
Alright, at the end of your turn, he's now going full attack mode because you're not giving in. He was waiting for you to try and give in, but now since you guys are not resisting, we are going full legendary actions now. So, he's going to go ahead and once more try to grab you. So he's going to make his unarmed strike. Let's see, so that's going to be a 19 to hit.
That'll hit.
Alright, so as you try to get away, you see him, you grab it, and he just once more reaches you and grabs you by the back of the hood. As you try to turn and run, he just grabs you and yanks you back, keeping you in place.
Wait. Can I use... Hold up. Can I use protection? So he has disadvantage?
Oh, from the feet. Okay.
Mm.
Alright, as your reaction, correct?
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would turn that into a 16.
Which misses.
Alright, so you do that, you see he's about to grab you, and then you see Valindra immediately coming around, just kind of deflecting it with her shield, just kind of getting the hand to veer up as she goes and kind of like steps in between you and him and takes her turn. Valindra?
I'm just gonna Eldritch Blast his face off.
Go ahead. So you're just going to stay kind of like behind Rook in a bit? You're just kind of deflecting it, but you step back and then push out your Eldritch Blast. Yeah. Go ahead and roll.
Yeah. And so the second blast, can I aim it towards his feet since he's at the edge of the cart and try to make him lose his balance and fall off?
You can aim for a specific part of the body. It would be done with disadvantage because you're aiming for a specific point.
Okay, well that's the first attack, and then the second attack was the one I was going to aim towards his feet.
Sure.
26.
Well, alright, so that does hit, so you try to aim and push it down. Go ahead and roll the damage for me. A 1. Okay, so he has to make... I'll go ahead and give him a save, but his save is going to be based on the damage that you did, so he has to just not roll a nat 1. This would be a dex save to make sure he doesn't, like, flip and trip. He keeps his ground, so you see that he's just steadying up and doesn't seem to topple over from that. It kind of almost gave it that moment where someone gets a little flick to the foot, just kind of kicks back a little bit and lets the force go through, but then keeps himself grounded.
Why did the dice gods hate me?
They hate you for damage, that's the only thing. So yeah, at the end of your turn, he's going to try and grab Rook again. And try to grip him. 15, though,
So-
I think misses.
Miss. Oh, I can actually. There we go. That accurately. No?
Okay. Varkesh, it's your turn.
Okay, what would be your rule on performing these sorts of action? I want to reach into my bag of holding, take out a silver ingot, and I want to run around trying to, like, restrain / shove the metal ingot into his mouth.
It is an action to pull from the bag of holding, so it would be for your round to hold and bring it out. And then your next turn, you could do something with it.
Okay.
But would you like your bonus action to be your weapon do?
Yeah, I'll have my spiritual weapon do that.
Alright, so the claw, this dragon forearm, just goes ahead and tries to bash him in the back of the head. Make your attack.
Yeah.
And no. I mean, it tries to, it just kind of, as he just turns a little bit, it just happens to go poof, right by him.
Useless bloody spirits.
So now that he is going to see Rook as being a little bit more of a slippery bastard, he's going to try and grab you again with his hand and hold you tight. 27.
That'll hit you.
Alright, now that he's got you there, he's going to take you and bring you close, and he's going to pull your neck to the side as he bites down.
Ow!
What do I do every time?
So he does this with advantage, I believe, because you
That'll
are...
hit.
Alright. So you take 6 piercing damage, and your maximum hit points are reduced by 6.
Can I protection that one? Because it's a new round.
Your turn has not... Oh, wait. Yes, your turn refreshed. Yes. So you
Okay.
could.
Yeah, I'm gonna use protection.
Okay.
Like wedge my shield between.
Yeah. You see, as he brings it up, you just once more kind of like do this like discus slide. You put it right forward, and as it just kind of comes right down, it just dinks, hits the shield and comes up as you bring it back. Rook.
Okay, my turn.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to try to break from his grapple.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's go.
By the way, you guys notice the cart is jostling and moving at high speeds. It is going straight towards the city, and you can see that it is getting closer. You feel that you might almost be maybe, from the best guess that you could assume, a minute or so away from the gates.
Okay, so it was a 15 to escape.
All right.
Nope.
I put that blocking the rolls. That was my bad. My absolute bad there. But no, sadly, he is keeping his grip on you firmly. We're not going anywhere.
Okay.
Bonus action, anything?
I'm thinking about it. No, I'm not going to waste my cosmic focus. Just end turn there.
Okay. Alright, so at the end of your turn, he's going to use legendary action to bite you. Which does cost 2, so...
Battle missed.
Alright. That natural 1? Yeah. Nat 1. No, he tries to, but you kind of see that as that first one kind of dented him a little bit, his fangs got a little dulled from that one, and they haven't regenerated perfectly yet, so as he tries to bite you, it's kind of like a... It's like a little nub. It doesn't really do any kind of puncture, so... very, very much a waste. Valindra.
I'm gonna Eldritch Blast him.
Well, the first one hits.
Yay! 4!
Alright, 4 damage. You do notice that as each time is going on, his health is continually regenerating. Every time a wound is inflicted, it just kind of seals up. So, just so you know, he's not even at loss of health yet. And now you've done 4, so he's down by 4. He looks really tough and hard to kill now. You thought that you were able to take him on, but he was at a weakened state. You can see that this is a bigger danger than you thought, Varkesh.
Okay, now that I've got the silver ingot in my hand, I want to restrain him and place it at his mouth. And I then want to use my bonus action for my spirit weapon to hit the ingot to try and force it into his mouth.
Okay. Alright, so go ahead and make a grapple attack first as you try to get him around your arm and hold it there, like kind of positioning it ready for your own spirit weapon to be the hammer.
I would be technically in flanking, wouldn't I?
No, sadly. To flank, you would have to have Rook be on the opposite side of you.
Dang it. So, what role specifically?
Athletics.
Athletics. Oh, shit.
Okay. So you try to grab onto him, but he immediately just bashes your hand away with his own, just kind of... Doesn't seem to get a good grip
Well,
on him.
in lieu of that, I will then just have my spirit weapon strike.
Okay. Oh, that hits.
And that is at level 2, naturally.
Mm-hmm.
10 force damage.
Alright, nice, nice. So yeah, you do bash him for a full 10. As you see the claw punching him in the back, kind of doing a little bit of like a push in to the rib cage as he jostles forward from the sudden attack behind. During his turn, though, I think Rook is still grappled, right?
Yes.
Yep, so as you're there, he just takes you and once more brings you up and tries to bite you again.
I'm feeling a little molested at this point, honestly.
22 to hit.
That'll hit. Yeah.
Alright, so you take 5 piercing damage and your max hit points are reduced by 5. And as he does do that, he does take his other hand and he tries to reach towards Varkesh to stop him with his own by grabbing to grapple your arm to prevent you from doing whatever you're going to try to do, because he's seen you work metal before on him and he didn't like that. So he has no idea what you have planned, but pulling out an ingot, he's kind of suspicious. 26 to grapple you.
Yeah, I think...
Alright, so he's kind of grappled your hand that is holding the ingot, just keeping you at bay, as he's now kind of got Rook in his own embrace, just kind of like half there, looking at Valindra, eyes gleaming red as he sucks the life out of him. Rook.
Okay. I'll try to break free again.
Go right ahead.
That'll be 7.
Alright, he rolls a 21, so as you try to wiggle free, he just keeps you there. You're not getting out of his grasp anytime soon.
Alright, I'll then turn.
Alright. At the end of his turn, Valindra, you see him once more continue to dig down deeper as he bites a little harder.
Knife protection.
Well, 17, does that hit?
It does hit. It is my armor class.
So, I
Never
mean,
mind.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he does, you take 5, unless you wish to uncanny dodge it.
Yeah, I might as well.
Okay, so you take 2 points of piercing damage, and your max hit points are reduced by additional 2, as he just kind of gets a little bit more in, but you're able to kind of twist it around enough so he's not able to get a good sucking motion, basically. Valindra.
God.
Twang.
I'm gonna try Witch Bolt.
Okay, well that hits as you bring... Are you using just yourself, by the way? Just your hand? This is your own spell slot, not through the rod, right?
Am I out of spell slots? No, I still have spell slots. So
Alright, so you're going to choose the spell slot. Alright, so you bring your hands around as you complete the incantation and you shoot it out as the core of your hand becomes a blue lightning bolt that just hits and smacks him hard. Go ahead and roll for damage. 24.
Ah!
Not bad. But you do see that he did recover some from that last round. So.
Stop!
But yeah. Oh wait. No. Yes. Yes.
What?
I was just saying because it is technically night. It's like, oh, if it was the daylight, if he had come at you at daylight, but of course he didn't. He came at you at night every time. But yeah. At the end of Valindra's turn, he is going to use his hand that he has on Varkesh, and he's going to kind of almost in a sense try to take your hand and bop you on the nose with the ingot, like trying to like do a hit yourself motion.
Really?
Yes.
Drop it.
That's his-
Yeah.
Is he really going to go fucking...
Oh well, that one. So he tries to, when he tries to bend it. And,
no, stop trying to make me, stop trying to make me hit myself.
I'm just saying, he tries to do that, but his grip is a little twisted and hard from the slick metal of the wrist guard, so he kind of like slips from that, from the nat 1. I'll go ahead and give him disadvantage on the grapple to hold you because of that, because he just would have slipped a bit. So you can try to escape if you like.
And that would be a athletics again?
Or acrobatics, whichever you prefer.
Athletics.
Alright.
Boom, 17.
Alright, and he gets at a disadvantage because he kind of had a slippery moment. 8. Well, even with it flat, you see you're able to wrench it free as you have the ingot back in your hand.
Oh, if only I had someone who was flanking with me.
I'm a little zero movement at the moment.
Right. So, I am going to attempt to do this again. Same
You've already
burst.
used your action to break free.
Wasn't that on his turn?
No, it's you use your action to do it. Sadly.
Right, okay, because I would like to have known that beforehand. So,
Unless you'd like for it just to stay grappled, you could. Grapple
I mean-
won't stop you from doing anything. It just stops you from moving, basically.
no, I'm fine. I want to be in close proximity to the bugger anyway.
Okay.
So, I'm going to use my action to try and continuously try and force the ingot into his mouth and have my spirit weapon also help
All right.
force.
So as you are basically being held back in this moment, you just take your free hand and go transfer, and it is now in here as you then try to bring it in towards his mouth. Go ahead and make your counter grapple in a sense, as you kind of like he's grappled your hand, but you're trying to like grapple this right to his mouth to kind of lodge in there.
Please, for the love of God. 23!
Okay. So he will contest it with an 11. No. So you're able to get it right in there, and as you kind of push it into his face, kind of right under his jaw, he's unable to twist his head out of the side. Go ahead and take your claw as it comes around and tries to hammer it in.
Okay, so what would you like me to do with my spirit weapon?
You go ahead and make an attack. This is basically, you're still trying to hit the creature, it's just there's an object that you're kind of using to put in between you and it. So it's still the same armor.
25!
Absolutely hits, and you see it smack straight in. Go ahead and do the force damage to see how much you push that thing in. 5. Alright, so it goes fairly nicely, and you kind of see it kind of lodging him open slightly. Not enough to kind of stop him from being able to maybe push down himself, but it's in there.
And I am going to just do my utmost best to just keep it shoved in his mouth.
Okay, so this is part of your grapple. Alright. Okay, so as you kind of hold in with your grapple there, he's going to try and contest it to get rid of it. So he's going to go ahead and make an athletics check contesting with his as he tries to push it away and out. He rolls a 13. So no, he is unable to get it out at that time as he's trying his darndest while he's still holding on to you. So with his other hand, he'd have to let go, I would say, in order to do that. He's going to probably... You know what he's going to do? He's going to take Rook, who's stuck in his other hand, and he's going to try to fling him off the cart. So he's going to try to throw you. First, he's going to make his unarmed strike to see if he can beat your armor class, just to kind of get enough force strength of you off. So
I'll let him throw me.
Oh,
that
no.
would actually be ideal.
Okay, I mean, you let him throw you, and you think he does, but with the way that the ingot's been put in there, and as he tries to toss you off with that nat 1, it's just more of like a, as you just drop down and kind of hit the kind of a cart edge and just land there. He failed miserably trying to get you off the cart. You are just kind of, you are de-grappled and on the ground. And it is your turn.
I'm going to try to shove him off the cart again.
Okay, so you immediately stand up and you once more try to bring your own force and just bash him off the cart. Go ahead and make your athletics. Okay.
11.
Because I'm holding on to it.
No, he's able to hold steady as Varkesh is keeping him anchored there. He's not getting off the cart as you kind of try your hardest to push him. He's not going.
Like a 5-foot step into flanking with Varkesh.
Okay.
And end my turn.
All right. You don't want a bonus action?
No.
Okay. No crossbow.
Ways to bring me good bolts.
Okay. All right.
They're generating too quickly for me. I deal.
That's fine. That's fine. Since no one did any damage, he also healed again for an additional 20 hit points.
20?
20. Thankfully, you guys have gotten 2 turns closer to the gate, as it is kind of coming up into your vicinity. You're not quite halfway there yet, but you're almost. At the end of your turn, Rook, he is going to see you kind of step into position, and he's going to try and take his leg up and kick you off, and see if he can push you off with a shove attack.
Okay.
You will be able to contest this with athletics or acrobatics, I believe, similar to a grapple. And so yeah, he tries to kick you around, but you just immediately just duck down as it whirls over your head instead, doing nothing. Valindra.
Okay. I'm just gonna deal damage with Witch Bolt again.
Yeah, alright, so you continue and focus this lightning to just push out another plasma charge that arcs towards him and just keeps pushing him. Go ahead and roll for its damage.
So remind me again, since it's still at 4th level, is it just 1d12 because it's already hit, or is it still 4d12?
I believe it
1d12.
is still 1d12. Let me just double check on that for you.
It is. It's just a first level spell.
It is, but it's one of those things when it gets cast at a higher level, I don't know sometimes. And I don't want to, skim you out, because I feel like if you cast at a higher level, it should be much better for you in the long run.
The initial cast is, but then it's auto damage as long as it's standard. That's what it balances
Yeah,
out.
I think so. I think that's right.
Okay. If you're acting as the spell also ends the target is ever outside. Yeah. Well, the initial damage increases. Okay, yes. So it says the initial only gets increased. So yes. So it's 1d12. 10 damage, not bad, as you arc it into his body. Keeping him zapped.
Okay,
Bonus
that
action,
is...
anything?
I don't think I can bonus action. Much of anything. No, I am going step within 5 feet of both of them so I can attack if need.
Okay. Alright, so
Probably a stupid idea.
after your turn, all he can do is make unarmed attacks, so he's going to try and make one back onto Rook just to kind of stop him from being a pest. 19 to hit.
That'll hit, yeah.
Alright, so he latches onto you with his other hand, keeping you in a firm grip. At the top of the round, you guys notice that as Lulu is just hitting the reins hard, forcing the creature to gallop, its breath is just coming out heavily. The rocking of the cart is just hard to keep your balance in a little bit. As you can see that the gate is now within sight, you can see the tall arch is kind of opened up to a way. The gate has an opening to it, but you can see that there are sentries and guards posted around the edges, torches held in their hands, looking around. They do see and begin to spot some of this commotion coming out from the distance as they're kind of curious and looking over, but they're still far away, but you are closing in. Varkesh.
Okay, seeing as he's still grappled and the ingot is in his mouth, I am now hopefully this will work. With me still holding the ingot in his mouth, I'm then going to actually cast heat metal and start melting the silver into his mouth.
God.
Okay, so you go ahead and cast heat metal on the ingot while you're holding it.
And with my bonus action, I'm going to have my spirit weapon keep force feeding him the melting ingot.
Alright, so go ahead and roll for
Varkesh is wickedly cruel.
Go ahead and roll for your heat metal damage. All right.
And it is silver.
Alright, so he does make a con save. Silver sadly doesn't seem to do anything to the vampire that you notice. There's no extra sizzle or kind of hate to it. It doesn't have any kind of...
Well, alright, either way, he's still literally being force-fed molten.
Yeah, you're fine. You've got the red-hot brick right there basically going for it, and you are shoving it in. Now, okay, the spirit weapon absolutely hammers it in, so this is the thing. So, the Constitution save...
I want to say a cool catchphrase. This is my free action to say a cool catchphrase. This, I'm to muzzle you! And I will literally do it to melt his mouth shut.
Okay, alright, so so sadly, heat metal does not melt the actual metal, but it does make it makes it very malleable at that point. So, the problem is, of course, is that you're holding it, and the thing with heat metal is when you hold it, you have to make a Constitution save in order to make sure you don't drop it. So, go ahead and make a con save for me to see if you can resist your own heat metal spell.
I do have the Warcaster feat as well, so...
Alright, 18. So, you're able to withstand and keep concentration on this thing and, just kind of hold it into place without it dying, and you still take the 5 fire damage because you are resistant as a Forge Cleric.
Mm-hmm.
He does take the full 10, he makes a con save as well. Okay, no, he takes 5.
Of course he does.
But with it in there and the Spirit Claw coming around, you see it lean back and then push it in, and you can see it kind of begin to pancake the actual metal a little bit more around his mouth, causing it to kind of widen and just extend. It's kind of like a very weird, grotesque moment as you can hear that popping and cracking noises as the jaw widens just to let it go in further as you deal the additional damage to it on top.
I'm too big for him.
A Jawbreaker to the max. But yes,
Oh, yes.
you do shove it in there.
No, do I ever.
At the end of your turn, is there anything else you wish to do? Is that it?
I'm just going to literally continue to try and hold it in his mouth.
Okay. He's going to try and take Rook and fling him off the cart again. So he's going to go ahead and do the unarmed strike to see if he can get past your armor. 14.
That doesn't. No.
No, it does not. So you see, he tries to get you off, but you see that as he tries to fling you away, you just kind of hit the side. You don't get off, but he's going to just continue it with the unarmed strike and turn it into a shove. As he throws you, you're still there. He turns and he takes his leg and wrings it back and tries to kick you hard in the chest to push you off. So this is your acrobatics or athletics for the shove.
Hey.
And
Funny, all right.
So no, as you see him try to once more do that, you kind of do a cool little flip in the air where you grab the foot and twist yourself high, spiraling like a windmill and going up and landing like a little perch on his leg as it's kind of held up there for a moment as you're just kind of got that little night crow
Ninja.
looming. Yeah, you're just kind of like that cool pose moment because it is now your turn as you're now atop his leg.
Okay. Yeah. Once more, I will, with his leg being kicked out like that, I will try to kind of like kick off of it to the side and shove him while he's still on one foot.
Okay, so you want to shove him off the actual cart?
Yes.
All right,
I'm
so go
still
ahead.
holding on to it.
Make your strength check. He will definitely be.
And I have the dead book!
Shove breaks grabbing. Fun fact for you.
Yeah.
If you're forcibly moved, you lose the grapple no
I
matter the
don't want to break the grapple.
It's okay, but no, he keeps his footing as you see him trying to like. He stumbles back, but the anchoring of this heated metal that Vargas is holding in, he's got enough of a grounding point where he's not going off the cart.
I tried. It's okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead then. My turn there.
All right. At the end of your turn, he's going to try and grab you again with his free hand. At the moment, you get the sense that you're the target, and if he can separate you from your friends, he's trying to do that. 11. Does not... Wow, the rolls are shit. So, you see him try to grab you, and you just duck away as he's just not getting you, but he takes his hand and once more tries to do a quick 1-2, bringing it around again. 11. That's the exact same rolls from last time, so no. You see him just unable to grab you as you're just doing this little dodge left and right. You're just nothing but a blur of black feathers.
We've got these handy little handles right up here, and he's just fucking it up. It's great.
Valindra, it is your turn. Would you like to continue to zap him?
Yes, please. I accidentally already rolled damage, so that's 5.
Alright, that's fine. So, another 5. I keep forgetting though, but he gets the plus 20 every turn.
God.
But yeah, you keep that... You keep pushing that pulse of lightning energy right into him. Alright, at the top of the round, you guys are getting closer to the gate. Now you can actually see there's a commotion. The guards are moving about. There's a bit more of like a panic as suddenly there's a hurling cart coming right towards them at the beginning of the night. And many of them are starting to call out. You can hear them just raising an alarm or even trying to command you to stop and halt. But Lulu is just like having none of it, and she's just continually flicking the horse reins forward, trying to get you there as fast as she can. Arkesh.
Okay. So the molten silver ingot is like firmly stuck in his gob, right?
It looks pretty darn wedged in there.
Okay, and what I'm going to do is, because if it's pretty wedged in there, I'm going to have my spirit weapon go on the top of his skull, and the hand that was holding the ingot press under his chin. We're going to simultaneously squeeze him down like a dentist taking a mold of his teeth, and at that same time, I'm going to drop heat metal so it cools down.
Okay.
And silver cools down rapidly, quick.
Alright, so...
He's up into his chin.
While holding this, you have Spiritual Claw and Dragon 1 working together to clamp it shut, in a sense, while the heat metal is still there, and then once it's done, you'll break the concentration.
Yep.
And let it cool. Alright, so go ahead still, your whole, so you're going to do that. This is going to be an unarmed strike. This is you kind of using your own hand to grip and punch up. So you you are not proficient in this, so it's just a strength check.
Okay, just a strength.
You do get advantage because Rook is flanking to try and distract you, and he is very preoccupied with Rook right now. So I would say that he is distracted enough.
That's 10.
10 does not do it, sadly.
Okay.
But go ahead and do your spiritual weapon.
And my spiritual weapon Ooh.
So you try to do this, and you both kind of disassociate the clink. You just kind of do this, and you, oh crap, it didn't work so hard, and so your concentration on guiding the spirit weapon just kind of flakes it off to the side as it just misses entirely. So do you want to break concentration still?
I mean, he was already like firmly clenched in amongst his jaw, right?
I mean, it's kind of in there where it's like the front of it has kind of a blossomed pancake, almost like when a bullet hits, you get that kind of mushroom, but the mushroom's on that side, so it's kind of like it's in there.
Okay.
But it's
so
not
I will then continue to keep heat metal, and then next time round I will attempt to squeeze his head shut around it again.
Okay, go ahead and roll for the heat metal damage.
Oh yeah. That was at level 2, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
12.
12, not bad. He does resist it, so he only takes 6.
Okay.
But
better than nothing.
Yeah, he is taking. I mean, his body is fighting. You see this constant motion of damage and healing, as the sizzling sound of flesh is just kind of filling the air, and the smell of it just kind of cooking in a rotted way. It
smells like undead bacon.
It's gross. It's just horribly gut-wrenching. But at the end of your turn, he does try and. Well, no, actually, no, he doesn't have. He can't bite because at the moment he's kind of lodged. So the biting attacks are gone right now. So he's going to use his turn while he's got Rook gripped to try and fling him again. Because at least if he can fling, he doesn't have to worry about you contesting anything. So this is him trying to throw you. 12. Does not beat your class. So sadly, he tries to use his attack to throw you off, but again, not enough. And you're just able to kind of be slightly bumped on the cart, just twisting and writhing enough that he can't get a full momentum swing. But as he dislodges you from the throw and gets you there, he tries once more to bring his knee back and kick you out. Just kind of like one to the face. Instead of a wide arc, it's now a piercing boot. So he goes ahead and tries to kick you off. 28.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'll make it work.
Well, you have to make acrobatics or athletics. It's a shove.
Oh, shove, right. That would be an acrobatics or athletics check then on his part.
So it's down to you which you pick. Alright, so this time he does successfully get it, and as you're getting close to the gate, Rook flies off the back of the cart and lands in the dirt. It is your turn, Rook.
I thought you were a flightless bird.
I'm sorry, say again?
The cart is starting to get away from you. It's kind of now gotten that 5 foot, now it's getting to 10 foot back. It's racing.
Bonus action, disengage, action dash. We'll keep up.
Well, you don't have to disengage. You're not engaged in anything. You kind of, as you've fallen down, you've already kind of broken away. So you're down, so you have to stand up to use half your movement.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the 15 to stand. So you have 15 left, and you are not engaged with anyone because you're apart from the cart.
Well, I have 75 movement total, and I'm going to try to keep up and or get ahead of it.
To get ahead of the cart. Okay.
He's just evolved backwards into a velociraptor.
So you kind of continue to race and move forward. So from that 15, at least from the first fall, you have 15 plus the action dash and the bonus action dash?
Yep.
Alright, so that's
75.
Alright, so you can definitely get ahead of the cart, because you would have fallen back to there, but then you would have gone 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. You would have gone way off there, like 55, 60, 65, 70. Yeah, you would have been all the way over here.
Screaming the whole way, help! Help! Trying to get the attention of the guards.
Okay, go ahead and make a performance check to kind of display the sense of urgency, to reach out your voice to echo and to kind of say...
Only a 9, it's not great.
You kind of do that, but it's mostly you just kind of coughing and trying to get this urgency out, but you've been strangled, your throat is kind of bruised and sore, you're coughing more than you are yelling, so it's kind of this broken... As you're panting, going... It's not getting through to them right now. But yeah, at the end of your turn, though, he is going to take an unarmed strike and shove Varkesh away. He's going to try to push him off. So, Varkesh, you can make an athletics or acrobatics from this.
Athletics or acrobatics? I'll do athletics.
Alright.
Oh.
You see him try to push you off, but you were able to hold yourself, you're standing your ground, your thick frame and large, heavy bulk is just unable to be pushed off the cart. Valindra.
Okay, I will move to the side give Varkesh flanking, and I'm just gonna hit him again with
You're
the
gonna
witch
keep
bolt.
that witch bolt going in,
Yep.
blasting it out, and constantly doing it. I know that you guys are not doing enough damage for me to worry about the health. He still looks pretty healthy right now. It's not
Okay.
going anywhere. But yeah, you just kind of keep pushing the damage into him to see if you can get any kind of way with it. At the end of your turn, though, he is going to turn and see you come right off to the side of the cart, and he's going to use an unarmed strike to try and shove you off the cart. So you go ahead and make an acrobatics or athletics.
Okay.
Ooh,
Of course.
18.
All right. Sadly, as you see him do that, he turns and quickly punches you off as you fall and land on the side of the road.
Just standing there going, well, fuck. There goes
So-
all my friends.
At the top of the round for Varkesh, the cart has moved forward basically. Now, Valindra, it's going double quick speed, so it's going like 60 at a time. So for you, it's basically starting to fall.
Yeah, I lose my witch spell.
You're right about there. Oh, well, because it's more than 60
past
feet.
30 feet.
All right, so it breaks away. The cart is moving ahead, so it's going. So basically, Rook, it's kind of catching up to you at that point, so you're right there. So instead of moving the cart and everything, we're kind of rotating you all into the positions. But yeah, so right at that point, Varkesh, what do you want to do? Your allies have fallen off the road. Rook is kind of now just a little to the left of you, and you can see that the cart is now almost there. It is about maybe 60 or 70 feet away from the gate itself, and you can see that the guards are pushing out and beginning to pull out crossbows and bows, holding them ready, looking to see what's coming their way.
Okay, I'm going to use my free action to shout out as loud as I possibly can, "Fighting a vampire, help!" And then I'm going to then proceed to do the exact same plan as I did before, but this time dropping heat metal and activating Spirit Guardians.
Okay. All right, so... Well, so you're going to do the first attack with your two hands then?
With my two hands, but
With your spirit hand and your normal hand? You still doing this?
well, I'm still shoving it into his mouth, but I'm dropping the heat metal, and as my action, I'm going to activate Spirit Guardians.
All right. So you're not going to use your action to try and make him bite underneath. Okay.
I mean, I could give it another try, but I
I
really
just wanted
doubt
to
I'm
know.
gonna.
Yeah. Okay, so that's fine. So you can
Right,
just
no,
continue-
stuff it. I'm going to try the exact same thing I did last time again.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and make your strength check for your unarmed attack, and then your attack with your spirit weapon.
Oh, fuck me. Fuck me.
Oh, the spirit weapon still gets its attack.
Yeah, it still gets his turn. Ah, 15.
It does not hit, sadly. So you keep trying.
And then obviously the heat metal.
And yeah, so you can keep the concentration, so you go ahead and roll for damage. But you do see that he's trying to avoid you from getting this moment. He kind of is starting to pick up on your strategy and is doing his best to avoid you actually getting a good purchase on either, so it just kind of slides out from under his jaw.
Ooh.
Doesn't seem to hurt him too much. You notice that it does burn, but yeah, it's
Dang
his
it.
body is able to recover very quickly. Now,
Fucker.
you still have him semi-grappled, if I remember correctly, because that's kind of
Yes.
the part of this. It's your version of a grapple. So he's going to try and break your grapple. So go ahead and make your athletics check to keep him restrained.
21.
All right. He is unable to break it with his first action, so he is trying to wiggle free, and you see him just not getting anywhere as you're holding him tight. He's going to do it one more with his second action, so go ahead and do it again for me.
22.
He starts to wiggle free, but then you kind of resiliently keep him there by just doubling down and just kind of flexing and keeping him right in there, and he's just not able to break free as he's just kind of struggling. The silver ingot still stuck in his mouth. I mean, ingots aren't this big. They're still that big, but it's enough to kind of, like a bar of soap, lodging him up in there. He's not able to, speak. He can't say
Prison
anything, and he
rules,
can't
bitch.
bite. He is fully restrained in that department, but yeah. Rook, the cart is kind of caught up to you.
Okay, about how far out did you say the cart is from the gate?
Oh, it looks to be about 70 feet or so.
Okay. So.
Ooh. What was the result for my shouting out to the guards that I'm fighting a vampire?
Oh, please make a performance check.
Right, okay. Performance is one of my worst ones. Not that bad, though.
Not too bad. As you yell this out, the words are heard clear as crystal, as you can see that the guards immediately hear the tone and this kind of sense of like terror, and you saying the word vampire, they immediately understand undead, and you see them begin to immediately change their tactics as suddenly they go off and they start doing different motions. You can see now, instead of pulling out weapons, they start to pull out wooden stakes. You can see that some of them start to bring out what appears to be torches and fire, ready to try and do some burning, and you can see one individual coming out from the barracks that's nearby the gate that seems to be dressed in white robes, looking around the place as you said something about undead, and they immediately start to take a forward motion towards the cart that's coming towards you.
Hooray!
But yes, Rook.
I hate vampires.
I'm just going to go ahead and double dash to safety inside the gate.
Okay, you just
Does
go
it
off.
still think I have the book? It works out well.
Okay, you just run away, and you continue to just go right past the guards. They kind of look at you, seeing that you're just one little bird, not really much of a threat, but you do see that as you go past the initial front line, there are guards in front of the gate that stop you from getting any further, as they have basically blocked the entire way. You wouldn't be able to get by unless you wanted to try and duck, dodge, or tumble roll over them.
Nah, I'm not going to do anything that'll make me a target to them.
So you're behind the first line, and you are now meeting the second line as they are keeping the gate blocked completely. But as you see them holding it together, they wait. And
I get there, I spin around, and I point at the guy, the vampire, I'm like, it's him, it's him!
Okay, make a performance check for me. Or persuasion. Make a persuasion check.
Yeah, I wanna like make absolute certain they're not trying to attack you out of this.
Okay! Natural
right.
20. As you immediately come up, you catch your breath and just like in one big motion, just kind of pulling in your own mimicry and using your talents, you let your voice warble and switch to almost kind of like that instilled panic, like when a woman is crying out in fear and help. There's this kind of instinctual moment that immediately every man and woman there on the wall just kind of knows that is a dangerous threat. This person is in the utmost danger, and there is now a full-on force of people backing up your entire claim of I am about to be killed, I am about to be hurt, save me now, and they are immediately on your side.
Good job, Turkey.
I'm proud of my groveling.
At the end of your turn, Varkesh, he does once more use his unarmed attack to try and break the grapple and pushing, try to break free. So go ahead and make your athletics check.
This is the part where it fails me. Alright, 17 out of
No, he tries. He tries so hard. But that the burning metal, the silver that is just searing his tongue and constantly disintegrating it as it's trying to regrow, and it's just, it is the worst sensation. And you can see that he's been fighting with this for the past few seconds. He's just trying his darndest, but he's having to conflict himself between "Ow, my God, help me now" versus "Fucking get off me." He is not having a good time.
Good.
Going to Eldritch Blast.
Okay, go right ahead as you flick out two force. Oh yeah, they both hit.
Haha! I did it.
13
Hey!
damage. Not bad, not bad. As you flick out the first one, but then as that one goes, you just take your hand and shoot out the second one with more force as it comes right in, and you can see that moment of impact as you can see that ripple behind the clothing just going through. And he looks to be just kind of like out of breath from that moment. But at the end of Valindra's turn, once more, he is going to try and break the grapple from the Varkesh. So, Varkesh, please, roll your athletics.
14.
Okay, no! He's getting closer to pushing you away. There's this gap moment where there's this kind of forcing you apart, but you're able to keep the grip on him, and he's not leaving your space. He's stuck there right now. It is your turn, Varkesh.
Alright. I'm going to drop heat metal.
Okay.
And I'm going to whack on Spirit Guardians.
Alright. by the way, at this time, while you're doing this, the cart has now begun to slow down a little bit as Lulu has pulled back the reins, so you have this motion of, like, trying to keep yourself steady as you have this motion of jerking backwards, but you are now at the front line of the gate as you can see soldiers begin to push out and around, getting ready to try and surround you. But yeah.
Alright, so I totally release my grip on the ingot. Just, like, it's just full-on bear hug now, and Spirit Guardians at level 4.
Alright. So you Spirit Guardian, and you shoot out from your own essence these tiny orbs of light that as they begin to swirl around, they coalesce into small little dragons. Little golden wormlings of these interesting design. It's something that's not been seen before. No dragon of any resemblance can be made from this. It's a unique kind of creature, but it does resemble dragon as you can see them swirl around and begin to impact and push themselves through the vampire as they kind of almost ghostly come in and drain him of his essence and begin to kind of whittle him down as their essence just envelops you.
You shall see the light!
So then he makes a wisdom save, correct?
Yes, I believe.
Alright. 16. I think he passes on that one.
Yep.
Alright. So you do see that he is able to resist some of the damage, but it does still deal a good 21, so it's a 10 damage.
Better than nothing.
Yeah. And then Valindra did 13, and then he is now at plus 20. So.
Oh, and my spirit weapon gets a good old whack at him.
Oh yeah, that does not hit sadly though.
Of course it does.
But now we're starting to get some moments where he might actually have some health problems, potentially. So, at the top of the round though, he does heal again. So, yeah. He tries to use his action to break free from you. Go ahead and make your athletics.
This will be the part where I fail.
Yes, and as he eventually sees the spirits coming in and he's right near the gate, he pushes you off with his full force, kind of letting you leave by, and as he does, he just completely separates from you, looks around, unsure what the hell is going on, but he's not going to linger, and you see that as he does that, he once more pulls back, and you see his form just begin to break down and form into a smaller form, becoming black.
Counterspell.
It is not a spell.
Get it!
Sadly.
Valindra's moment.
Never mind!
But I mean, you blast off your counterspell.
Good, I wasted it.
You assume it's a spell, and you just once more you just throw it. But it doesn't do anything. But you can see that his shape condenses as he shifts into what looks to be a large feral bat. Fangs longer than they should be, eyes bright red, but black midnight fur. As eventually you can see the wings just begin to flap, and he starts to fly straight up into the air. Varkesh, you do get an attack of opportunity.
Does Warcaster allow me to use a spell at close range? I can't remember.
Yes.
So
Warcaster allows you to use a single target spell as your
As an opportunity attack, yes.
Oh, then I shall use... Ooh, I will use... I really want to use Inflict Wounds, but I think he's immune to necrotic. So I'm going to use Guiding Bolt instead.
Okay.
And I shall do that at level 2. 16?
Well, that just hits.
That's just as fine. Just as more than good for me.
Okay. Alright, 11 damage. You do... As the bat is flying away, you just quickly flick it up, and you see this golden beam hit, and you see it impact the bat as it just flies around, just kind of warps a little bit. You can see that it is now a glowing golden speck that is just flying and flapping up higher into the air. You see that it's about maybe a good 30 feet vertically high in the sky.
Is it performing any acrobatics as it flies off?
Well, it
I should have let the vampire kill the bird.
It did some attempts to try and rebalance itself, but no, it seems to just be trying to move as best it can. Rook, it is your turn. I don't know if you guys can try and do anything, but it looks like he's on the full retreat. By the way, as he shifts, Varkesh, you do notice that the metal pops out of his mouth as the jaw that is now broken just kind of lets it fly out, and then as the jaw reaffixed itself, it's when he shrunk down.
Okay. I'll be picking that up afterwards.
The only thing I'll do is I'll try to move back to the party. Does any of the do any of the knights and such from the wall try to stop me at all?
No, they don't try to stop you.
Okay, good. I'll just move back to the party from where I was, and then my turn.
Okay. So yeah, as you get over there, the vampire is moving. He is now an additional 30 feet up in the air.
Can I Eldritch Blast?
Yeah, on your turn you can still reach him.
And she would have advantage on the hit.
She would, on the first one. 18 would hit, and 25 would hit. One. And thing. Alright, so you just quickly shoot out 2 blasts. The first one just hitting him and causing him to kind of uplift a little bit as you then try to see him get there, but the second one causes him to spiral as the wing flips him around before he rebalances himself and tries to glide before, at the end of your turn, he uses his movement to fly even higher. He is now 90 feet in the air. Farkesh.
I will give him another taste of guiding blows. And that's what I'll do. And I will do that at a level 3 if it hits. If it doesn't, then I don't do anything.
Will you still burn the 3? Well, so...
I'll take that, sunshine. That's a level 3.
Alright, let's see.
Nice damage. That is my parting gift.
Okay.
To the vampire.
So yeah. Alright, so the math for that one, let's see. So 17 and 17, that's going to be 34 plus that, 41, 52 damage.
Charging that
wow.
like, come here.
Okay, so as you do that, you see he just kind of is up in the air and you aim your bolt, you wait for a moment as you kind of sniper sharpshoot it, you just kind of shoot out this beam as it shoots out in a very thin, hard line that just kind of arcs, and then once it smacks the creature, you see this almost firework blossom of go out, this entire flower of gold just bursting away. As you can see, the creature makes a tiny little noise as he just is irradiated by this light and is just completely singed. You can see the fur and body parts are just kind of burning away with cindered holes, and you can see that his form is just kind of slowly keeping aloft, but it is wounded badly.
I will then use my my free action to shout out, "You still owe me an umbrella, you fucker!"
Okay. Alright, during his turn, he does heal. And he does retreat fully. You see he uses his movement and his action to move another 60 feet. He's now 150 feet in the sky, going farther and farther away as he completely leaves your space, leaving you 3 with Lulu in the cart, standing looking up at the night sky as a full moon continues to kind of cast a silhouette as his form flaps off and away.
We had fun! Too soon.
We survived. It's a start.
And as you kind of get a little moment of breath, you can see Lulu is just looking around as the guards suddenly surround all of you. Each one of you is completely, met face to face with weapon and other forms of stick staves, torches, and the like, all just holding them up and looking at you to seeing who you are. But you can see that the white-robed individual that was watching before and coming out and striding towards you just looks up and keeps staring at the creature before it completely disappears. And before looking back at you, you recognize this is an elf. A tall, pointed-eared, blonde hair, very long male that seems to have very thin features, very young and youthful. You can see that the body is lithe and thin, and the robes are kind of tied in with a white silk belt that goes around with what looks to be like silver embroidery around it, and a nice kind of cloaking that just kind of drapes to the ground. But you can see that as he moves towards you, he looks around each of you.
Just quick thing. We are surrounded and they approach, I'm still glowing with a lot of...
You still have your spirits.
Silvery spirits swirling around me, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you're doing that, but he is surveying and looking around at every single one of you as he looks at Lulu, Valindra, Varkesh, and Rook. He stops at Rook and kind of peers in for a moment, going, "Are you hurt?"
I am. Just taking some chunks out of my neck on the way.
You see him immediately taking your head and putting it to the side as he then once more takes his hand, pushes it down, and does cure wounds on you.
I don't believe that'll have any effect. My max HP is currently sold.
Yep. But you do see him pushing it in to try and help you out.
Let's see.
You do heal for 7 if you have 7 to heal. Otherwise, the puncture wounds just seal up. They don't seem to bleed anymore, but he does kind of back away and goes, "Perhaps you might be better off if you take a few days of rest here at Alniel, though I did not expect perhaps we would encounter such troubling guests tonight."
I haven't caused any trouble.
I think he
Indeed.
was referring to the vampire.
Oh. First strike on my behalf.
Why was he attacking you?
Come back, Spirit Dragon.
I suspect he wanted what we were carrying. Lulu, you have the contract, yes?
As you do see that, Lulu is immediately getting off, goes, "Darlings, let me handle this. I know my way around business folk. Hello, my name is Lulu Baudelaire. It is a pleasure to meet you." As you see her bring her hand up to shake, she then twists it to go, kiss, kiss. But you do see him just kind of staring at her, one eyebrow raised a little bit, going, "Yes." And you see him just kind of go, "We are here at the behest of the Traders Guild. We are transporting a very important, rare item that is to be delivered to one of your matrons." As she says that, he does kind of stop for a moment and look and goes, "A matron, you say? Might I ask which one?" And
The matrony one.
she kind of goes, "No, darling, this is a confidential contract. Remember, we, the Traders Guild, we like to keep our secrets and the secrets of our clients. And we do not divulge that information." As she kind of does the little blinking eyelash going, "Surely you know this." He looks a little bit kind of irritated, but he doesn't push the matter. "Very well. The Traders Guild has their ways here in Alniel, and I shall not impede upon your business. However, coming forward to the city in full blazing wagon, chased by a vampire of all sorts, does propose a few, how should I say, concerns for the security of those here in the city, and I think perhaps some precautions might be in order. So, if you don't mind, I shall have some of my men accompany you to your destination to make sure you do not have any more troubling encounters."
Do I recognize his robing or any of his symbols on him?
Make an intelligence check.
It wouldn't be like a religion check?
Well, I mean, okay, you can kind of stretch it, because you do know that he did cast something, so you probably would assume he has divine touches, so you can go ahead and do a religion check. 14. Okay. So you're fairly familiar with some of the deities that exist through all the temples that are here in Almia. The one that you, of course, are most familiar with does not seem to be represented on this individual as either robes or anywhere like that. You can tell just by the general look of him and the fact that he is an elf. You kind of take a little bit of a moment to look at him, and you can see that the silver embroidery around his belt is shaped to be almost the size of a circle and a crescent moon. The thing that you recognize from there is that this is probably an elf who worships the twin goddesses, the ones of twilight. Their names are, real quick, one second. So that is Aluna and Salina. Both of them are the twin goddesses of the night, the moon, and the horizon. And so he looks to be at least somewhat affiliated with them. But at that moment he does go, I assume this is not disagreeable to have a few bodyguards accompany you. Lulu just kind of goes, oh, I'm sure we don't need them. As you can see, I have very capable adventurers here. These 3 are my personal escort.
I lean down to Lulu and go, I have a hard bottom. I need to go bed.
Sorry?
Very quickly. I'm tired. I don't want to do this right now.
Well, darling, please, I'll handle everything. You just sit in the cart. You sit yourself right there. You did brilliantly. And she looks over and goes, I suppose we shan't object to any additional men that you wish to join us on our trip, of course, but we will be happy to see you if you wish to call upon us later. Of course, you may find us at the hall inside. She kind of does that little flaring gesture before she gets back onto the cart and goes, Come along, darlings. We are heading to our trader's hall.
Certainly.
And as you all get on the cart, we'll use this moment to take a break for you guys. If you need to pee and take a drink or get any moments to kind of relieve yourself, so go right ahead. We'll turn to the chat and give them a little bit of a howdy do and a hey hey. So yes. Or do any of you guys need a break?
I'm gonna get myself a drink.
All right.
Fuck
I
it.
drank all of this and some coffee. I need water.
Scott, could you get me a drink, please?
I'm not your fucking maid, for sure.
Thanks. But yes. A silver loaf, indeed it was. It was a... Just the Sprite, please. But yes, I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. That particular encounter is just a little quick one for them. They weren't necessarily intending to stay around too long for that one. It was whether or not they could keep hold of the book.
Which I did like a box.
Yes, thankfully you guys were able to keep hold of that book. Or luckily you're able to deceive him enough that he wasn't able to discern that you had the book. Instead it was you thought Rook who had it.
Fuck, I almost fell over. I almost fell on my ass.
I mean, you are still having that bit of a tailbone pain. The entire encounter and the combat was just racked with moments of ow, ow,
Yep.
ow, ow.
Varkesh was not a happy reptile.
But yes, how is everyone in the chat doing right now? How are you guys holding up? I think I just saw a little cattail.
Yeah, I was.
There it is again!
Infiltrator.
When the man is away, the cat comes to play and to step on the keyboard and sit on it. There it is. It's the shark. Da-da. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da.
See a bit of
Hung bears. Yes. Maybe we should get some hung bears in the campaign.
hung bears.
Yes. It's in regards to the bugbears that were in Critical Role. There was a moment when they were sexually kind of displayed for things. I will not divulge too much. There are spoilers, and of course I won't be the one to do that. But I'm sure most people should know this by now, and if they wanted to, they could figure it out and find it out. But yes.
Every party needs a Varkesh in it.
That I would say yes. Every party needs a Varkesh.
Make action figures of this person one day.
And I'm only so talented here. I have these amazing players to help bounce everything off of. I mean, a game is only as good as all the players around the table. I am just a referee, a little storyteller. They are the decision makers and the cunning little fighters pulling out an ingot to heat metal wedge. I mean, I knew it wouldn't do much in terms of damage, but it did stop him from biting, which
That's
really
all I was
does
concerned
help.
about, because apart from casting magic to close range, which I'm kind of naff at, I went, you know what, I'm just going to shut this fucker up. Shove something into his mouth that isn't organic.
It's a darn shame that you cannot use as a forge cleric your the artisan's thing, the one where you can create an object.
Oh yeah, I could if I was there for an hour.
Exactly. Like if it could be done within less than an hour, I'm sure you would have created a lovely metal ball gag into that mouth or something.
Be still for an hour, you fucker. while I melt this ingot down your throat. Yeah, sure.
But yes, thank you, Dark Beast, for all those kind words. I really do like to see people who enjoy not only the actions, but also the D&D universe in general that we all know and love.
I can't see the chat. Is it good? Is it positive?
I mean, I would assume it's pretty positive.
No, everyone's hating on Varkich.
I mean, Kyle just ripped on
Understandable.
Kayla a little bit with the counter spell.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I honestly thought it would have worked. Because I thought it was magic too. It's like, haha, bat be gone. Apparently bat stays.
Alright.
As soon as I said it, I was like, it's not a spell, but oh well.
I didn't realize the music was so loud and everything, so I turned it down. So
Nothing
sorry
mentioned.
about that. Last time when I saw the recording, it seemed like the music and everything was practically nil to none. So all the ambient noises for the Trader's Hall and everything for the inn seemed to be a little quiet, so I tried to amp it up. Apparently I amped it too hard.
Yourself.
Apologies for the sudden clank you're probably about to hear from my end, as the dog has just found a bone that I tried to hide.
This is adorable. I love it.
Dungeon.
He loves throwing it on the floor.
He does throw it on the floor.
No, I mean like he'll put it in his mouth, he'll throw his head back and slam it to the ground.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
He does it to get attention.
Yeah, and of course he's smart enough to know to place it in the locations where when you're going to step around it, you're going to land on it with the middle of your foot, so it's that awkward out sharp moment. It's like, it's worse than Lego because it's bigger.
Naturally.
Yeah. But yes, so good. All of us back. We continue as you guys go into Alniel. Now, Alniel is the capital city of the elves. It is literally in its name, Alniel, meaning all elves. This place was the actual home for where the dragons initially shared their secrets of how to weave spells and to cast magic to the lesser races. Now, the city, as you know it from when you entered, you came into a large gate. The gate was still intricately made, a beautiful white kind of stone that seemed to have no mortar, no seams, almost like a solid white. And you could see the intricacy made into it is a simple beauty, almost kind of like that geometric design that you would get in that Art Nouveau. So it has that kind of nice natural curving ovals and these little shapes that kind of lead off into faded moments where it just goes into the walls. But as you go past the gate and inside, you can see that the buildings around you are completely picturesque. The entire city has been made almost like a theme park. There is nothing but just perfect little placements. The roads are evenly spaced. The buildings are made to be symmetric and uniform. Everything has a place and everything is in its place. Shops, homes, all the like are still spread out into this little metropolis here. And as it is kind of pushing past the horizon, you can see that the buildings are smooth and almost kind of domed a little bit. Each of the actual roofs has like these large oval elongated kind of roofings with spires that come out from here and there, and you can see balconies that come up on top of these little roofs, as you can see these awnings and these trellises just kind of sticking out and rising up, making this almost this multi-tiered moment where you can see glistening banners of pale whites and blues and purples just kind of draping around, marking each district almost like in a color-coordinated form, and you can see that each of the actual blocks are lit with beautiful lights, all of them continually glowing with a colored flame, almost kind of like matching the drapes that are around them, giving these moments of like you can see purple twinkles in one side, blue in another, yellow, gold, white. There's these constant little flickers around there. But at the base, on the ground, you can see that the roads are illuminated by these small planters that seem to have glowing flowers that come out and spiral up to make these beautiful like buds that release what appears to be almost like a neon light, similar to what you would see with bioluminescence. So it's kind of got that faint glow, but it kind of gives enough of a, you could see where you're going on the ground without becoming too invasive to the eye. So they don't stop the light in the sense from the stars and the moon. You do know that elves and dragons particularly do love to stargaze at night. And so you can see that the city itself has done its best to not pollute that. And many of the forms of light are just enough for you to see by, and look dazzling, but you can still see the night sky. And for those of you who have dark vision, this is still fairly well lit for you. Dim light is bright light to you, so this is kind of like you're still seeing things rather well. Varkesh, it's kind of like a very nice mood lighting to you. Very much kind of mellowing you out and keeping you chill. But as you are pushing over, you can see just up ahead and a little to your right that the city grows in size. Huge towers and tall buildings, walls that grow up to at least 10 times the size of normal buildings, just rising high and blocking the vista, just completely covering up any kind of way of you seeing past them, as you know that that section there is where the dragons dwell. That is the dragon district, which takes up a good 2/3 of the city, whereas the human metropolis part is a small little crescent that goes on the outer edge of it. And that is where all the people typically run their businesses, do most of their interactions, and are basically kept in line. Very few are even allowed to go beyond that wall, and those who dare try usually either fail, or they don't get anywhere far, or they have to prove themselves, typically, with either name, reputation, or a deed of some sort. But you travel through this, and once more you find that Lulu is guiding you, looking for a specific sign, but she does spot it eventually, where you can see that there is the recognized Traders Guild emblem just outside one of the buildings, etched into the white stone. As you can see, there are a few people still going about their business, as only the very beginning points of night have fallen. And as she kind of leads you up in there, she kind of gives that little look of, the city. It's just, breathtaking, darlings. Do you see this? This is just the pinnacle of class and style. I'm finally home. She's just kind
It definitely looks like an elf city.
It is.
Horrible architecture.
Shush you. Quiet. This is beautiful. This is nothing.
Elves have no taste.
They have exquisite taste.
Sorry.
We will have a discussion about this later, but for now, as she kind of looks at the guards, just kind of staring at her, she goes, we shall continue our business inside. As she steps off the wagon, and she kind of moves a little forward, and looking around, she does eventually see a very noticeable uniformed intern, as they all seem to have a very similar kind of uniform attire for all those who work under the Traders Guild and kind of operate in the guild halls. She quietly does a message spell as she whispers to him softly, as he turns and looks and sees her, as she kind of waves and points at the cart. And you see him kind of nod for a moment as he goes towards it and takes the reins and leads it around the side back of the building, as she goes, come along, darlings, come along, as she ascends the stairway, leading you up into the Traders' Hall.
These stairs are horrible. Elves have horrible taste in stair construction. It's too flamboyant.
As you are saying that, you do know that there are a majority of elves around you who stare and look at you. The populace, as you also enter the Traders' Hall, and as you've been looking around here, a majority of it are elves. You can see that there are a great amount of many of them just sharing the similar looks and feels, but they have a multitude of colors and variations. There's different skins, from pale whites to deeper golds to tans to all these different creams and these slight little almost cocoa whites. There's these little bits of differentiation in their eyes being gold and flecked with like this brilliant gem-like quality, as some of them have long hair that's also silvered or gold or colored in this kind of bright metallic weave of hair. It seems that every time they move it shimmers as if like it is made of just like a living metal. And each one just kind of doesn't really pay much mind to you. They do see you and they just kind of go, oh, tourists, just kind of paying you no mind at the moment. But there are other species of humanoids there too. You do see that there are gnomes. There are the second, probably most populous race you can see here are them. And they are moving about quite happily and freely. Many of them are a bit more jovial and sprightly and smiling. Very similar to Sippy, you recall that they seem to keep that kind of happy atmosphere about them. And they try to express that to everyone they meet. They kind of give everyone a smile. So even though you kind of make a boisterous claim, they kind of do look at you. And as you do look at them, they kind of do little waves of greetings, as hoping that you would enjoy your stay here at the city.
Can I keep them?
No.
Oh.
That's called slavery.
They're people.
And there are a good section of humans, dwarves, and other races too, and a few fair bits of half-breeds as well, that you can see some of the occasional odd-looking individuals, half-orcs, half-elves as well, but you can see that there are some oddly shaped ones, dwarves with what appears to be more of like a shortened stature and less wide, but very long beards, almost like comedic gnomes with their dwarf beards just kind of going down there instead of being a little bit shortened. You can see that there are a few that are kind of like a mixture of maybe, like, you could assume that might be an orc going in with a tiefling, as they have very large tusks. Their skin is a bit more green, but they have horns on them. And you can see that there's just a variety of people that inhabit the city. And though it is predominantly still the elven capital in a way, many people have been welcomed here. And there's no restriction or prejudice to anyone who wants to come. They will judge you to some degree, but they're not certainly going to discriminate against you. And as you go inside the Trader's Hall, the familiar layout once more opens to you. As you can see the long hallway in front and the two sides just completely covered with desks. As Lulu walks you straight to the back, looking for what appears to be a small little resting area, almost like a little kind of green room in a sense, similar to where she had sent Smokey before last time, and brings you in. As you kind of go inside the door, she looks behind, making sure no one is following her or eavesdropping, as she waits for you all to go in, and she peers back and goes, closing the door. All right, darlings. We made it. I was safe. Good job. Excellent work. I'm very impressed with all of you, but we need to keep this rather quiet. You don't want anyone to know who we're trying to give this to. Varkesh, you still have the book, yes?
I don't.
Sorry?
I don't have it anymore.
Make a deception check.
Ooh. Please say that was
No.
Jeez.
So, of course, this is Lulu, who has a lovely little insight. We all know her as the best trader in the world.
Clearly.
Oh, well, she had a +8 to that, by the way. So. But she does tell for a moment, as she looks at you for a moment, just kind of a little worried, that panic moment. She goes, You're pulling one over me, aren't you? Yes, you are, you sneaky little
pulling what? Exactly.
Don't joke now. This is a serious moment. She
I don't want to give the book away.
We're not giving it away. We are returning this book.
I don't...
While they're having this conversation, can I try to sleight of hand it out of his bag of holding?
Please say his hand goes elsewhere.
Well, you can, but it is an action to kind of do this, so it is not something that you can quickly quick pocket. It is the kind of one where you have to stick your hand in and go, think of the object, it kind of sticks in and you pull it out. So make your sleight of hand with disadvantage.
Okay.
11.
Oh, that's only 11. Well, that's garbage.
You're able to pull it out, but Varkesh easily notices this.
I actually noticed it.
Valindra notices it. Everyone looks and sees you do it.
Just like snatches his wrists. It's like, no. Just takes off and puts it back in the bag.
As you do that, Lulu immediately grabs and goes, yes, darling.
Varkesh, the whole purpose of all of this was to get this book and deliver it. What's with the sudden hesitation?
It's an evil book. A vampire.
And it's going to a brass dragon family.
I say we destroy it.
They can safeguard it much better than anyone else can.
I say we destroy it. Remove it from the face of the earth completely.
Darling, I say we finish the contract and get ourselves that lovely reputation we want. Didn't you want your griffins? Don't you want your pair of griffins, darling?
Oh god, the baby voice.
Big soaring creatures.
Don't tempt me,
Majestic
sorceress!
You can go into the
Varkesh,
skies.
Varkesh, with influence comes power, and with power comes the ability to do more good in the world to begin. This is one book. This is one book that is, as far as we are aware, to be in the possession of a very powerful creature.
I will be beholden to what the entire group wants, but I'm not looking for power.
Then you're not looking to have the ability to do more good.
I can do good by myself.
You can do more with more.
Simple actions of one is plenty.
So, as you are holding it, do you let Lulu and Rook hold the book?
Begrudgingly.
All right. As you do, she just kind of goes, "Thank you, darling. Rook, you may let go now." Rook, darling.
I kind of hold on to it a moment just to fuck with her and let go.
Thank you. She kind of holds it and puts it here. She goes, now, as she reaches in and pulls out the contract. Excellent. So, We need to get this immediately to the Brass Dragons. Now, from what I am told, we need to find a specific establishment known as the Golden Lily Inn. I'm sure you all are familiar with this, as I have found you there before.
Well, I
Yes.
do hope it is as good as Sippy makes it out to be.
Is this the place where I get napkins?
Yes, Varkash, it is.
Well, that was the one in River Run, which is absolutely by far she tries. It's not, of course, Alniel standards. Alniel standards, darling. Oh, perish the thought. But
I don't like this city.
the city is lovely, darling. You just need to
City
acquire the taste. Just
The city is gauche, to say the least. It's horrible.
it's
I don't like it.
you love it, darling.
You're not a Jedi.
I know, sweetie. I don't know what that is, but I promise you, have faith in Lulu. Lulu knows what's best for you. And she kind of. But leaving that for a moment now, darling, we need to go and find Jin Drit. He shall be the one who will give us access to. Well, I can trust you to keep this quiet, yes?
Naturally, we
You're not
are.
asking Varkesh anything with the word quiet in a sentence, are you?
She is.
I look at Varkash, I look back over and say, naturally, we are, after all, your adventurers.
Good. Now, we are trying to return this to the brood of TL. So, we must make sure that neither Lien or Durel find out about this. So, we will be seeking Jin Drit. He shall be able to grant us the audience we need with the matron of the TL brood, who, from what I see here, as she reads the parchment, goes, belongs to Aratha TL. She is the current matron. Now we will be trying to get this to her as quietly as we can, so please, darlings, keep an eye out. If anyone is following us, I want you to notify me immediately. We don't want any other surprises to lurk up behind us. And we want to get rid of this book as soon as possible. I don't want to risk it going out of our hands.
Oh, question from Varkesh.
Yes, Varkesh. Question.
Thank you. Acknowledgement really helps.
Well, darling, yes.
You're not going to make me talk to the dragons, are you?
I think I can do the talking for you, darling.
Oh, thank you.
My pleasure.
Just saying, dragons kind of make me nervous.
That's
Why?
very peculiar.
You are a dragon, Varkesh.
Dragon-like, kind of. I'm a dragon in my own kind of way.
Yes, and you drag on and on and on.
I was waiting
Shall we
for
now?
I was so setting you up for it.
As you were. So, but you do see her kind of like doing this, shall we, darlings? As she keeps
What?
the book.
What time is it?
It's about, 6 or 7 in the evening.
Okay.
Do I know where to find a Gendrit? I doubt it, but or where to start looking.
Well, you do know that the contract stipulated that it would be found in the Golden Lily. That's where he rendezvous and meets.
Okay, I guess we'll go through the Golden Lily.
Okay.
I'm following everyone else because I do not like elven architecture.
Okay. So, you head towards the Golden Lily, looking forward specifically, but also keeping an eye out to make sure no one is following you. I need all of you to make perception checks as you make your way down. That was the dog.
He threw the bone? Is that what that sound was?
No, that was a bottle.
Oh, okay.
No, the bone's a very noticeable...
Sounds like
Kind of.
breaking glass.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay. Valindra's just kind of in wonder right now, and she's probably thinking more or less, don't find me someone else. Okay.
Yeah. I'm too busy looking out for other people.
Right.
So, Rook, as you are going down the road, as you see that Lulu is kind of taking the head lead, trying to get you as quick as she can to the Golden Lily. You do see that there are a pair of guards that are trailing you.
Okay, so I just walk just a bit closer to Lulu and I whisper to her, "Our tail is still on the guards."
Oh, you don't say, darling. Any thoughts as to giving them the slip?
I can cause a distraction.
I am quite quick and I can blend into crowds very well.
But
If you
that
can
won't
get
do
that
much.
book to me quietly, I can get away.
But if I give you the book, darling, that won't guarantee much. You will still have to follow us to the destination. We need to break them from our line. Is there a way you can stop them from keeping our trail? Can you break the trail?
I'd like to look around to see if there's anything that I could like knock over, something like that, to slow their chase.
Okay.
I'm not going to do it right away. I'm just going to see if there's something about.
Make an investigation check as you kind of scope out the place real quick, looking to see if you can pinpoint anything. Alright, as you look about, you do see that there might be a few things that could potentially hinder them. You can see that there are a few alleyways you could duck through, places between the buildings that you could try and break the line of sight really quickly to stop them from following. You do see that there are a few what looks to be almost kind of like open establishments that look to have kind of like eating places for dining areas, these kind of open bar almost looking places inside their buildings, and you could try and lose them in the crowd there by going through one way and leaving out the other.
I have an idea. So I whispered to Lulu. So Belindra has this neat trick that she used to teleport us away from that vampire before. If we sit down to have a meal, and the two of you leave off to the bathroom as, you know, a stereotype would have them believe it could happen, and she just teleports away, they'd have nowhere to find you.
That could work, darling. Yes, we could try that. Let us try this. How about... She looks around and goes, that place looks like it's good. As she heads over to what looks to be almost kind of like a grown ivy kind of exterior-looking building that seems to have grapes that seem to drape around. And you can see that there are lovely glasses all around the tables filled with this deep kind of red magenta wine that's kind of coating all the tables and just leaving it into this place of like sophistication and grace. And she just kind of leans in and just looks around for a moment, finding a way to just please, could you get 4 wine glasses? Thank you. Go, off you go. As she just kind of takes the table and she leans up and goes, Rook has noticed we've been followed, darlings. Now, he suggested that Valindra, you might be able to teleport me and yourself straight to the Golden Lily, if you at least know where it is, and they will be none the wiser when we go to powder our noses.
I can, but I need to sort of take a little bit of a break. We did just fight a vampire, and
No, perfectly understandable, darling. We figured we would have a small meal here, just a light dinner of some sorts, to give you time to recover.
okay, yeah, then that shouldn't be a problem.
Excellent. Now, Varkesh,
Yes.
you and Rook will be very obvious targets to follow at that point. My guess is, Rook, you said there were 2 guards, correct?
That's
I need to kill them.
Yes, they might...
No, we're not looking to kill.
Good, because I'm not that kind of dragon.
My guess is that they might try to send one to stay here in case we come back, and one to follow you too when you go off to find us. Do you think you'll be able to successfully lose 1 guard?
If not, we can just find somewhere else to stay for the night. That should give you time to make the switch. So
I mean, I could get rid of them now.
Really, darling? How could you do that?
He just gets up. He walks over towards the guards. Are they both male?
They do seem to both be male, dressed in a very nice silver uniform, almost kind of like similar to the previous entryway, just kind of coated in these geometric, simple shapes.
Good day, gentlemen. I have a slight problem. You see, I have witnessed a crime, and I'm in fear of my life, really. So, if you wouldn't mind, I would like to talk to you down that alley in private.
They both look at each other for a moment, going, "If you have concerns, you may address them to us, and we shall make sure to send the appropriate forces for your troubles."
Are you sure? Because the murder's happening down that alleyway right now.
They both look a little curiously. Make a deception check with disadvantage.
I mean, I thought that was kind of convincing.
You came from a particular position in a bar and pointed to a completely opposite end alley. Being able to spot this would be very impressive. So, all right, I'll go ahead and do their insights on that one. I'm pretty sure they can smell bullshit, but So let's see the first one. Yeah, the first one is able to just kind of like they kind of look and go, right. If there's a murder over there, we shall be sure to send the appropriate forces. As they kind of look at each other with a snicker.
At that moment, I just take both their heads and slam them both together, knocking them out.
We're in the middle of a public location. What?
Okay. Are you doing this?
Yeah.
Okay. So you only can make one attack, but the
I got two hands.
I know you're trying to do the bash, and you have the element of surprise. So, go ahead and make your unarmed attack to see if you can bash them. Their armor is 18. No. So
if I had broke flanking, that would help.
So you immediately take this. She goes, "Is this like kind of doing the whole what in the world could that be?" And they just don't look at you as you bring your hands up, and they each just immediately bring their own hands up to stop you, gripping them, and they just kind of slowly push them down, one in each hand, just going, "If you choose to assault the gods again, we shall be happy to take you to the jails."
Oh, would you? Does that mean that you two will leave with me?
They both look at each other. It means that we will send someone here to chain you, and you shall be on your way.
Well, I think we both know that I'm going to cause trouble. So let us both just take a step into the future together and take me to prison. And I just look over to Rook and just go, distraction.
Varkesh, I call out. I know you don't like authority, but that's not helpful right now. Come on, we're having dinner.
I am not an anarchist.
You do see that Lulu is just going, "Dear gods, what in all the nine hells is that Dragonborn doing?" She immediately kind of just gets up for a moment as she kind of walks over, turning on the trap. She goes, "Darlings, you will have to excuse my friend. He's just recently had an encounter with a vampire. He's quite drained, as it were. he needs to rest and recover. I'm trying to get some nutrition in him. If you don't mind, you can watch us all you need to right here, and he shall be able to recover shortly. Excuse us, please." She kind of does this version of taking on the slightly, confused person, like the elderly back into the home. "Back this way, Rakesh. Over here. No, not that way. Over here. No, there we go. Straight.
I wasn't moving anywhere."
But she does bring you back as she's looking over her shoulder at the guards for a moment, going, "That was quite idiotic. What the hell were you thinking?"
I was thinking that if I could hurt them, get them to arrest me, they would leave.
If you get arrested, that is going to hurt our chances at getting an audience with the matron, so please, Varkesh.
It would just be me, and I don't like...
We would have to get you out of jail later.
Just please.
Oh, I can get out of jail.
No more talk of jail. We are going to not deal with that at this moment.
Let's just see if we can find something you like on the menu for now.
Yes, here. Let's find
Damn it.
She begins to kind of look and begin to order whatever she can to get you to at least stuff your mouth with food instead of trying to talk. So you see her attempting to get anything at first. She's like, "Done. Anything. Bread first. Yes, thank you. Just putting it down. It's like, all right, here, Varkesh, here, butter, here.
Don't like health bread.
No, do you love it? Here, bread.
Nope.
But you do see that she's trying her best to get the meals done and to let Valindra get her rest completed.
I don't know, can she rest with all this stress?
She can rest by sitting there and just doing nothing, in a sense. So, Valindra, you begin to rest and recover yourself, getting your spell slots back, as you all spend a quiet evening enjoying the wine, the food. Those of you who do eat, it is very nice and nourishing, and you do feel that kind of satisfied sensation, and you feel that sense of full, but it doesn't hurt. It's almost like the breads and the fruits and the wines and all the different assortments are just pleasing on all factors. There's very little discomfort in anything. The temperature is great, the air is clear and clean, the atmosphere has got slight music. It's just like you're really enjoying this. It's beautiful. But Valindra, you do finish as you do see her kind of going, darling, maybe perhaps are you ready? We should quickly use the ladies' room.
Sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Excuse us, please. Pardon, as she once more goes, excuse us. Going to the restroom. As she does that, she kind of has to leave. The buildings themselves, in this typical kind of fashion, they don't have what you would consider lavatories associated to the actual restaurant. They are kind of public facilities. So you do see that eventually she finds one. And you do see that as they are doing this, Varkesh and Rook, while you're sitting at the table, one of the guards is watching you, but the other one follows the two ladies, keeping an eye on their location. As you eventually walk inside, you see Lulu is looking around, waiting to make sure no one's there. She goes, all right, darling, how does this work? Do you need to see the place where we're going? What does this need to be?
We just need to state the direction.
Yeah, I just need to state the direction.
Yeah. So you can use your memory, in a sense, to try and find a place where you had just previously been, to then keep searching for the Golden Lily.
Do I know what direction the Golden Lily is in?
Make a history check, because you have lived in the city before.
We can visualize it. We can also just teleport straight there.
Yep. If it's
Long as
within
it's
range.
Within range, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You do. You know that the Golden Lily is located next to the wall that barriers between the humanoid section and the dragon section. And you know it's about a good... It's more than 500 feet away, but you know the exact angle you have to go to jump you in that direction.
Okay. I will use Dimension Door, and I'm just going to grab Lulu's hand and pull her through.
Alright, as you grip hands with each other, you just kind of this moment of sucked into space and appearing out on the other side, 500 feet closer to the inn, giving yourself the very well distance between the two guards that were trying to tail you, and that gives you the opening to eventually move forward as you both make your way to the Golden Lily. Now, the Golden Lily itself is spectacular. This is actually completely covered in what appears to be varying degrees of gold colors and white. You can see that the thatched roof is made almost kind of with the same beauty that you can see in the elven hair. It's kind of done in a way that looks like thatch, but it has that shimmer to it. You can see that the external part of it is a long row of different colored windows, each stained glass in a very beautiful... if you've ever seen that artwork before from back during the French time where it looks like it's watercolored females, and it's kind of like they're in like a circle of glass, it's kind of like that. There's this kind of watercolored geometric shaping of patterns that have images in the center. They can change from what looks to be mermaids, dragons, fae, satyrs, all these different mythical creatures just kind of thrown about the sides, just kind of letting people see this little like gallery of glass before coming to what appears to be a large wooden door made of this rich oak that opens up, and you can see that the doors are open wide, and inside you can see that the beauty has just compounded even further. The floor is covered in thick flush rugs that just kind of go from wall to wall. Each of the place has been kind of like decorated with moments of carvings, wood pillars off to the sides. You can see sets of stairs going up, leading further into this massive, almost like a manor for an inn. But you can see in the front way there is what appears to be a grand, almost kind of entry lobby, where you can see that there is a desk just to the side left, where you can see there are a few people, clerks, working around, and you can see off to the right what appears to be a nice lounge area where you can sit. Nice plush couches and chairs, these gorgeous cushions on the floor that people can sit next to these nice kind of marble little tables, mini half tables that just rest on the side. You can see bowls and drinks around a large grand fireplace, almost carved as if it was looking like antlers made of stone and marble, just carving around in these kind of thorned bush display of animal and plant. But you can see that as you walk inside, Lulu is immediately going to the head desk, and as she looks around, she can see there are a few elves, half-elves, and the like, all moving about as staff, each dressed in a very nice golden vest that seems to have this kind of extra trim on the sides with a little bit of fleur-de-lis almost to it. And as they kind of see you enter, they just do this moment of waiting for you to arrive and go, "Can I help you?"
God. Yes, actually, we're looking for our friend Gindrit.
He kind of mumbles,
Ah, I see. You're here for gin, then. One moment.
as he kind of picks up a little bit of what looks to be a small paper and goes,
You there, boy.
as he kind of waits for a moment, you can see one of the, what looks almost like a bellhop in a sense, someone who looks to have a slightly less beautiful uniform, so it just looks to be like a plain kind of gold vest with like a small little kind of like kerchief up here. But he does come over and he kind of picks the note and goes,
Please deliver this to Gin post haste.
and you see him just kind of scuttle off as
He will be with you momentarily, if you wouldn't mind waiting in the lounge.
as he kind of gestures behind you. Lulu goes,
Of course, darling. Thank you. Come along, dear.
I like the Golden Lily and Rip Red better.
This is far better than that. What you don't know. You haven't even seen the rooms yet. Don't judge it.
Nope, I don't like it. It's too much.
No, it's
Too snooty.
perfect. I love it.
elegance at its finest. She does sit there for a moment waiting, and she goes,
Do you think we should probably perhaps tell Varkesh and Rookwear we're safe and sound here?
I don't have the ability to do that.
Perhaps we should get someone who can... Excuse me, darling. Let me just...
she kind of
Oh.
waves what appears to be a bellboy over.
Well,
Sorry, darling, yes?
I guess I could, maybe. Well, no, because I never stitched Winnie back, so never mind.
Yep. So as she just goes and calls a boy over, she goes,
Sweetheart, please, come here. Now, I noticed that you quickly did a little errand... Well, not you specifically, your type. You seem to do a bit of errand work here for the inn. Could you please perhaps gather my friends? They are just about, a few blocks down that way. They're at an establishment, lovely vines, ivory everywhere, beautiful winery area, just about... And she starts describing the place to him, trying to get him the idea of where you're at, and he kind of nods, eventually going, "Yes, miss, I know where that is, yes."
Well, actually, won't it, sort of tip them off that we did something suspicious if we don't come back to the restaurant?
Well, darling, if one is walking and waiting for us at the ladies' room, then the other will certainly only be able to follow those two, and we'll have to split off. But they could probably lose him in the crowd if they tried hard enough. But we're here, we're safe, we're ready to deliver. By the time they arrive, I'm sure we will have completely delivered the object, so we will have no more trouble. We just need them to get here, so I don't want to keep you separate, because, of course, to get an audience with the dragon broods. Oh, my dear, do you have any idea how much this could mean for us? And I need my best foot forward.
Some idea, yes.
Good. So off you go, little one. Just go on, find him if you can. Thank you. Big blue dragonborn, can't miss him. Go.
As he scuttles off and begins to do that. You do see that as she was giving him the description, she was handing him coins, as he was given 3 gold pieces to coax him to do this. And he did go off immediately. As you are sitting and waiting, Rook and Varkesh, the messenger hasn't arrived yet, but you are sitting around for a good 5 minutes or so, as the 2 ladies have not come back. What do you wish to do?
I'm still not eating elven bread, no matter what they say.
Oh, there was a
of course, I
selection.
wouldn't expect you to. There's probably some decent meats around, too, we could order. The meal was both a cover and an option.
The meal was in front of you, and it was a selection of meats, cheeses, fruits, veg, a very nice assortment of them, all pinnacle, like, organic. This is just, like, good stuff. Really good.
It's a principle of the thing.
I encourage you to at least try the meat. Just look at it. Smell it.
I will unceremoniously just devour near enough the entire.
Acceptable.
You enjoy the gobbling up. It's a very... You were quite hungry, and you really wanted to have something to eat. But yes. So if
I still don't like it.
If you wait to finish your food, you do eventually find that a small little boy with a gold vest kind of approaches you and just quickly goes,
Sir, Sir, are you Varkesh?
Who's asking?
Sorry, sir. I come from the Golden Lily. They wanted to bring you this message. He holds out a little piece of paper.
I just take it.
If you would like, sir, I can guide you there if you've never been. You do see in the paper it does say from it, successfully infiltrated. Please come at once, darling.
Infiltrate. Please lead the way. Rook, apparently this young man is going to take us to MI6 as apparently ran off to.
To our friends, I see.
So,
I will follow. I will follow the peppy child with a gold dinner vest.
You know, I do have some other shopping to do before I get there, but worry not, I'll be able to find it.
Okay.
And I split off first and start wandering off in a random direction to try to pull the guard with me.
okay.
I'm just going to follow the small person because I'll get lost. I know I'll just get lost.
All right. As Rook tries to force the guard to follow you, you will to follow Rook. Just make a performance check to see how much of a follow me without being too obvious kind of thing. It's like the subtle art of coaxing someone without them realizing that they're being coaxed. Very good.
20.
Yeah. So you're able to force him to kind of look in your direction with the way that you move enough to kind of catch his eye, and he immediately turns to see where you're going and follows off in your direction before Varkesh goes off with the boy towards the Golden Lily. So you do see that the guard is keeping pace with you rather well. Are you trying to break away?
Yes.
Go ahead and make a stealth check.
Well, I'm not going to try to break away immediately. I want to get him sufficiently off.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're going to definitely get some distance, but then you're eventually trying to find a moment of opportunity to duck away and hide, in a sense.
Yeah. And this will not be with the hood because that would be hella suspicious in the middle of the city.
Okay, so you're just going to go ahead and roll it flat.
Mm-hmm. Which is still a 23.
Not bad. So you do see that he's trying his best to keep an eye on you. So he is going to make his perception check. All right, no. So he keeps a very close watch on you, but as you quickly take the time to duck into an alley and do a quick few turns, you kind of hunker down behind something. As you see him walk by and past you, and it continues down, you just backtrack the way that you were, leading him to go off into nowhere as you retrace your steps to eventually find Varkesh and yourself at the Golden Lily. And inside you do see Lulu and Valindra lounging on cushions, just waiting patiently as you eventually arrive. They go, "Darlings, yes, you're here," as she stands up and goes, "Oh, good, you made it safe and sound. Excellent. We are just waiting for Jin to arrive. As I'm told, Jin is his name for those who know him. So we will be calling him Jin, all right? Jin. Yes, good, darling, great."
I mean, that was...
Well, of course.
He said a lot just to tell me that his name was Jim.
Jin, darling, Jin.
Jim.
Jin.
Jim.
No. Need a n. Jin. Like the alcohol.
Yeah, Jim.
That's not.
No,
I
not
think
Jim
we shall
Beam. Gin, like a gin and tonic.
I think we'll stick with me talking. You just stand there and look pretty.
I can do that.
Good. As you see her
There is,
just kind
after
of-
all, no end to your talent. You are gorgeous to look at.
As you are waiting for a moment, you do see that you are enjoying the view, kind of taking in the atmosphere and scoping out the place. But eventually, you do turn to see a very noticeable figure coming towards you. The attire of this individual is more or less the thing that catches you first. You can see that the vest they're wearing is a brilliant blue-green, almost like this mixture of aquamarine and teal, and this pale blue. It almost looks like it's made of water, as it seems to kind of shimmer and shift, and as he moves throughout the light, little patches of it shimmer up and down, making it look like rippling waves, as it's kind of got this like illusion to it, this kind of crazy motion of seeing and disappearing. But as you can see that the rest of him is just kept in this kind of pale green blue. The rest of him is a gorgeous set of red-orange hair, metallic and shining, just brilliant and beautiful, almost like a fiery flower that just kind of blossoms out and comes to the side. However, other than that, the only thing you notice is that he is small. He looks to be like a halfling, no more than about 3 feet tall.
but he does walk up to you, and you can see that the splendor and his display are what cause you to kind of look at him, not just his stature. But as he looks up at you, he goes, "Right there. My name is Jin. It's a pleasure to meet you all," as he raises his hand
Jim.
to you. And that's where we're going to end tonight, as you now meet Jin, the Irish halfling.
The Irish halfling.
I'm so excited.
Oh, my back.
But yes.
That was fun.
But yes, congratulations. Good job. You finally made it to Alniel, and you have reached Jin. Now, Jin. Now, it's curious to see what you will do with Jin Drit. But, yes. So,
I hate vampires.
for all of you in the chat, thank you so much for staying as late as you did with us. We were able to push it up to here. Thank you for the bits. And of course, thank you all for your chat and participation in the channel. We really enjoy it and love to have you guys engage us and to also make fun of the players. It's great when you get to poke fun at them. I enjoy the jokes.
My favorite part was all the horse puns. That was masterfully done.
Oh yeah, I look off to the screen all the time, just reading all the lovely shit that you.
I have not got the chat up, so I sadly cannot see what's going on.
We shall have to make sure that when the YouTube comes up for you, we can make sure to see the chat there, so you can kind of keep an idea of that. But yeah, thank you all for coming along with us, and we will be back next week again, 6:30 p.m. PST time, Sundays here, and you will see our lovely Varkesh, Valindra, and Rook once more tackling the challenge of trying to get to the Matron of the Brass Dragons. But until then, please, of course, see us again on Tuesdays for Hoda, again, 6:30 PST PM time. And other than that, we hope to see you all again soon. Thanks again, everyone. Take care.
Good night, all.
Have a good one.